Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eldoria, there lived a kind and adventurous girl named Avellini. She resided in a quaint village at the edge of the enchanted forest, a mysterious place filled with magical creatures and ancient secrets. The villagers often told tales of the forest's wonders and dangers, but Avellini's curiosity always drew her to its borders. Avellini lived with her father, a skilled carpenter, and her younger brother, Leo. Their mother had passed away when Leo was just a baby, leaving Avellini to take on the role of caretaker for her family. Despite the hardships, Avellini remained optimistic and full of life. One autumn evening, as the golden leaves fell from the trees, a chilling wind swept through the village. The villagers gathered in the town square to discuss a growing problem. The enchanted forest had begun to spread its roots and vines into the village, causing crops to wither and homes to become entangled. They feared that if the forest's magic continued to encroach, their village would be consumed. An old woman named Matilda, who was known for her wisdom and knowledge of the forest, stepped forward. "The forest is alive with magic," she said, "and it is disturbed by an imbalance. The heart of the forest, a magical crystal that keeps the forest in harmony, has been stolen by a dark sorceress named Morgana. Only by retrieving the crystal can we restore balance and save our village." The villagers were frightened, but Avellini felt a stirring of courage within her. "I will go into the enchanted forest and retrieve the heart of the forest," she declared. Despite her father's protests, Avellini was determined to save her home. Equipped with her father's handcrafted bow, a quiver of arrows, and a small satchel of provisions, Avellini set off into the enchanted forest. The forest was both beautiful and eerie, with towering trees that seemed to whisper secrets and glowing flowers that lit her path. She walked for hours, guided by the light of the full moon. As she ventured deeper, Avellini encountered a fox with fur as white as snow and eyes that sparkled like sapphires. "Greetings, young adventurer," the fox said. "I am Finn, guardian of the forest. I sense your noble quest to retrieve the heart of the forest. I will guide you, but you must prove your worthiness by solving 3 riddles." Avellini nodded, ready for the challenge. Finn's first riddle was, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Avellini thought for a moment before answering, "An echo." Finn nodded in approval. "Very good. The second riddle, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" "Fire," Avellini replied confidently. "Correct," said Finn. "Now for the final riddle. I am seen in the water if seen in the sky. I am in the rainbow, a jay's feather, and lapis lazuli. What am I?" "Blue," Avellini answered. Finn smiled. "You are indeed worthy. Follow me." The fox led Avellini through winding paths and hidden trails until they reached a dark cave, where Morgana resided. As they approached the cave, Morgana appeared, her eyes glowing with malice. "So, a brave girl comes to steal my prize," she hissed. "You cannot defeat me." Avellini stood tall. "I do not wish to fight. I only seek to restore balance and save my village. The heart of the forest does not belong to you." Morgana laughed, but before she could cast a spell, Finn darted forward, distracting her. Seizing the opportunity, Avellini knocked an arrow and aimed for the crystal hanging around Morgana's neck. With a deep breath, she released the arrow, striking the crystal and shattering its chain. The heart of the forest fell to the ground, and Avellini quickly retrieved it. Morgana screamed in rage, but as Avellini held the crystal high, its light filled the cave, driving the sorceress back. The forest responded to the crystal's power, and Morgana, unable to withstand its pure magic, vanished in a swirl of dark smoke. With the heart of the forest in hand, Avellini and Finn returned to the heart of the enchanted forest. There, they placed the crystal in its rightful place, and the forest immediately began to heal. The roots and vines withdrew from the village, and the balance was restored. Avellini returned to her village a hero. The villagers celebrated her bravery and wisdom, and her father and brother embraced her with tears of joy. The heart of the forest continued to protect the village, ensuring its prosperity for generations to come. And so, Avellini's tale became a cherished legend in Eldoria, a story of courage, kindness, and the magic of a brave heart. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the tranquil kingdom of Eldoria, there was a mystical forest known for its towering trees and sparkling streams. At the heart of this forest stood an ancient tree called the Whispering Willow. This tree was renowned for its ability to grant a single wish to those who were truly pure of heart. In the village of Greenwood, which lay at the edge of the forest, there lived a kind-hearted young girl named Eloan. Eloan was known throughout the village for her compassion and her love for animals. She often wandered into the forest to care for the woodland creatures and to listen to the soothing rustle of the whispering willow's leaves. One day, as Eloan was tending to a wounded fawn, she heard a soft, sorrowful whisper carried by the wind. The whispering willow was speaking to her, though she could not understand its words. That night, she had a dream in which the willow told her that it was in grave danger. The tree's magic was fading, and with it, the balance of the entire forest was at risk. Determined to save the whispering willow and protect the forest she loved, Eloan set out on a quest to discover what was causing the willow's distress. She packed a small satchel with supplies and set off into the heart of the forest, guided by the gentle light of the moon. As Eloan ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a series of magical creatures that tested her resolve. The first was a mischievous gnome named Bramble, who guarded the entrance to a hidden grove. To proceed, Bramble said with a twinkle in his eye, "You must answer my riddle." Bramble's riddle was, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but not go outside. What am I?" Eloan thought for a moment and answered, "A piano." Bramble chuckled and handed her a small charm. "You may pass. This charm will help you find your way." With the charm in hand, Eloan continued her journey and soon arrived at a crystal-clear pond. Here, she met a wise old water nymph named Nera, who was known for her knowledge of the forest secrets. "To aid the whispering willow, you must first solve a question," Nera said. "What is the greatest force that can heal and restore?" Nera asked. Eloan replied, "The greatest force is love." Nera smiled warmly and handed Eloan a vial of enchanted water. "This will strengthen the willow's magic. But be cautious, for there are darker forces at work." With the vial in hand, Eloan made her way to the whispering willow. As she approached, she saw that the once vibrant tree was now withered and dim. Dark vines had begun to encroach upon the willow, draining its magic. Suddenly, a shadowy figure emerged from the gloom, a sorceress named Morwenna, who had been using dark magic to weaken the willow in order to take control of the forest's magic for herself. "You think you can stop me?" Morwenna sneered. "The power of the whispering willow will be mine." Eloan stood firm and said, "The magic of the forest belongs to all who cherish and protect it. I will not let you harm it." Morwenna raised her staff to cast a dark spell, but Eloan used the charm and the vial of enchanted water to counteract the sorceress's magic. As the water touched the roots of the whispering willow, the tree's magic began to rejuvenate, and the dark vines receded. The whispering willow's leaves began to rustle with renewed vigor, and a radiant light spread through the forest, driving Morwenna away. The sorceress, defeated, vanished into the shadows, and the balance of the forest was restored. The whispering willow, now vibrant and full of life, spoke to Eloan in a voice as gentle as the breeze. "Thank you, dear Eloan. Your bravery and pure heart have saved me and restored harmony to the forest. As a token of our gratitude, I grant you one wish." Eloan thought for a moment and then said, "I wish for the forest to remain safe and flourishing, so that all its creatures may thrive." The whispering willow's light grew even brighter, and the forest seemed to sing with joy. "Your wish is granted. The forest will be forever protected, and its magic will remain strong." Eloan returned to her village, where she was celebrated as a hero. The whispering willow continued to stand tall and radiant, its magic safeguarding the forest and its inhabitants. Eloan often visited the tree, sharing her love and care with the woodland creatures and listening to the willow's gentle whispers. And so, the kingdom of Eldoria thrived in peace and harmony, forever blessed by the magic of the Whispering Willow and the courage of a young girl who loved her forest. And they lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Greenvale, there was a small, serene brook that wound its way through the forest. The brook was known as the Whispering Brook because, on quiet nights, its waters would carry soft, melodic whispers that told stories and secrets from the past. The villagers revered the brook and believed it held ancient wisdom. However, as the years passed, the whispers grew fainter, and the brook began to dry up. The once crystal-clear waters became murky, and the villagers feared that they were losing a cherished part of their heritage. Among the villagers was a kind and adventurous girl named Elara. She had always been enchanted by the whispers of the brook and felt a deep connection to it. Determined to restore the brook to its former glory, Elara decided to embark on a quest to uncover the source of the whispers and revive its magic. One evening, guided by the soft glow of the setting sun, Elara followed the brook upstream into the heart of the forest. She came across a hidden grove where the trees seemed to hum with a faint, magical resonance. At the center of the grove was an ancient stone pedestal with an intricately carved inscription, "To restore the whispers, seek the heart of the forest." Elara looked around and spotted a small, luminescent flower growing near the pedestal. As she touched the flower, a gentle, shimmering light enveloped the grove, and a wise old creature appeared. It was a gentle fawn with eyes that sparkled like stars. "Greetings, Elara," the fawn said in a melodious voice. "I am Nym, the guardian of the heart of the forest. To find the heart and restore the whispers, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Elara nodded, ready to take on the challenges. Nym led her to the first task, the trial of courage. She had to cross the misty gorge, a deep chasm shrouded in thick fog. The only way across was a fragile-looking bridge made of vines and twigs. Elara took a deep breath and carefully made her way across the bridge, her heart steady and her steps sure. The bridge held firm, and she reached the other side safely. The second task was the trial of kindness. Elara found a group of lost fireflies flitting helplessly in the dark. Their light was dim, and they were unable to find their way back to their home. Elara gently gathered the fireflies in her hands and used her kindness to soothe them. She sang a soft lullaby, and as her warm, caring presence filled the air, the fireflies regained their strength and guided her to the next challenge. The final task was the trial of wisdom. Nym led Elara to a glimmering pool in the heart of the forest, where a golden key lay submerged beneath the water. To retrieve it, Elara had to solve a riddle posed by the pool's reflection. The riddle was, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and realized the answer was fire. She spoke the answer aloud, and the golden key floated to the surface. She retrieved the key and thanked the pool for its guidance. With the golden key in hand, Elara returned to the ancient stone pedestal. The pedestal's inscription began to glow with a soft, warm light. Elara placed the key into a hidden slot, and the pedestal opened, revealing a hidden chamber filled with vibrant, glowing crystals. As Elara entered the chamber, she saw the heart of the forest, a radiant crystal that pulsed with a gentle, soothing light. She approached the crystal and, with a heart full of gratitude, gently touched it. The crystal's light spread throughout the forest, revitalizing the Whispering Brook. The waters flowed once more, clear and sparkling, and the whispers returned, carrying stories and secrets through the village. The brook's magic was restored, and the villagers rejoiced as the soft melodies filled their hearts with joy and wonder. Elara returned to Greenvale as a hero, celebrated for her bravery, kindness, and wisdom. The Whispering Brook became even more cherished than before, its whispers now more vivid and full of life. And so, the tale of Elara's adventure became a cherished story in Greenvale, a reminder of the magic that lies in courage, kindness, and wisdom, and the power of a heart that listens to the whispers of the world. Once upon a time, in the enchanting kingdom of Luminera, where twilight always seemed to hold a touch of magic, there was a hidden garden known as the Starflower Meadow. This meadow was home to the rarest and most magical flowers in the land, the starflowers, which bloomed only once every 100 years. Their petals sparkled like stars, and their scent could heal the deepest of wounds. The secret of the Starflower Meadow was known only to the royal family and a few trusted guardians. The current guardian was a kind-hearted young woman named Lyra, who had been entrusted with protecting the meadow since she was a child. One day, the kingdom was threatened by a great drought. The rivers ran dry, and the crops began to wither. The people of Luminera were worried and turned to the king for help. The king, desperate to save his people, remembered the ancient tales of the Starflower Meadow and its magical flowers. He asked Lyra to use the flowers' magic to bring relief to the kingdom. Lyra was reluctant. The starflowers were precious and their magic was delicate. Using them carelessly could lead to their extinction. But seeing the suffering of her people, Lyra agreed to help, though she knew it would not be an easy task. Lyra set out for the Starflower Meadow with her loyal companion, a small but brave squirrel named Nutmeg. As they entered the meadow, the starflowers glowed with an ethereal light, casting a gentle, calming aura over the garden. But as Lyra approached the flowers, she found that the meadow was under threat. A dark sorceress named Morgana had found out about the starflowers and was trying to steal their magic for herself. Morgana's dark magic was causing the flowers to wilt, and their once vibrant glow was fading. Determined to protect the starflowers, Lyra and Nutmeg confronted Morgana. "You cannot take the magic of the starflowers," Lyra said firmly. "Their power is meant to heal and bring balance, not for selfish gain." Morgana sneered and raised her staff to cast a spell. But Nutmeg, quick on his feet, darted around Morgana, causing confusion. Lyra seized the opportunity to use the meadow's natural magic to defend the flowers. She chanted an ancient incantation she had learned from her elders, invoking the protective spirit of the meadow. The starflowers began to shimmer with renewed brilliance, their light pushing back against Morgana's dark magic. The sorceress, overwhelmed by the pure and potent magic of the flowers, was forced to retreat, her dark spells dissipating into the night. With Morgana gone, Lyra tended to the wounded flowers, using her gentle touch and healing knowledge to restore them. She knew that their magic was needed not only to help the kingdom but also to preserve the delicate balance of nature. As she worked, Lyra and Nutmeg gathered the restored flowers and carried them to the kingdom. The starflower's magic was harnessed to create a potion that would bring rain and revitalization to the land. The potion was distributed across the kingdom, and soon the skies opened up with gentle, nourishing rain. The rivers filled once more, and the crops began to flourish. The people of Luminera rejoiced, and the kingdom returned to its vibrant, thriving state. The king thanked Lyra for her bravery and wisdom, recognizing the great sacrifice she had made to save the land. Lyra, though honored, was simply relieved to see her people happy in the meadow safe. The Starflower Meadow was carefully tended to and protected, its magic preserved for future generations. Lyra continued to guard the meadow, her bond with the starflowers growing stronger with each passing day. And Nutmeg, ever faithful, remained by her side, sharing in the joy and peace that returned to their kingdom. The tale of Lyra and the Starflower Meadow became a cherished legend in Luminera, a story of courage, selflessness, and the enduring power of nature's magic. And so, the kingdom flourished, and Lyra and Nutmeg lived happily, their hearts filled with the magic of the starflowers and the love of their people. And they all lived happily ever after. The moonlit melody once upon a time, in a kingdom where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers sang lullabies, there was a hidden village called Leora. Leora was known for its breathtaking beauty and its connection to the stars. Each night, the village was bathed in moonlight that seemed to dance to an enchanting melody, a melody that only the pure-hearted could hear. In Leora lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was an orphan who had been raised by her grandmother, who was the village's storyteller. Though Ilara's life was modest, she had a gift for playing the harp, and her music was said to bring comfort and joy to all who heard it. Yet, despite her talent, Ilara felt a deep yearning within her heart, a desire to understand the source of the moonlit melody that filled the village with magic. A mysterious gift one evening, as the harvest moon rose high in the sky, Elara was walking along the edge of the village. The moonlight was especially radiant, casting an otherworldly glow over the landscape. As she strolled, she noticed a small, silver box glimmering in the grass. She picked it up and opened it to find a delicate, moonstone pendant. Attached to the pendant was a note written in elegant script, to uncover the secret of the moonlit melody, wear this pendant and follow the path of light. Elara felt a surge of excitement and curiosity. She clasped the pendant around her neck and watched as the moonlight seemed to intensify, forming a shimmering path leading towards the mountains. The path of light with determination, Elara followed the luminous path. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the light grew brighter, guiding her towards a hidden grove. The trees in the grove were adorned with glistening silver leaves that rustled softly in the breeze. At the center of the grove stood an ancient, majestic tree with branches that reached towards the sky. Elara approached the tree and noticed that its trunk had a door carved into it. She hesitated for a moment, then gently pushed open the door, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. The enchanted chamber at the bottom of the staircase, Elara entered a vast underground chamber bathed in moonlight. The walls of the chamber were lined with glittering crystals, and at the center of the room was an exquisite harp with strings made of silver and moonbeams. The harp seemed to hum with a gentle, magical energy. As Elara approached the harp, a soft voice echoed through the chamber. "Welcome, Elara. You have been chosen to unlock the heart of the moonlit melody." Elara looked around and saw a graceful figure emerge from the shadows, a moonlit guardian with shimmering wings and a serene presence. The guardian spoke, "The harp you see before you holds the essence of the moonlit melody. To awaken its magic, you must play a tune from your heart, one that reflects the purity and love within you." The moonlit melody. Elara took a deep breath and began to play the harp. Her fingers danced across the strings, and as she played, a beautiful, celestial melody filled the chamber. The notes were pure and radiant, echoing the harmony of the moonlight above. The melody seemed to weave through the air, carrying a sense of peace and wonder. As the final note lingered, the chamber was enveloped in a dazzling light. The moonlight streaming through the crystals became a cascade of shimmering rays, and the harp's magic began to spread beyond the chamber, reaching the village of Leora. A magical transformation back in Leora, the villagers gathered in awe as the moonlight transformed into a magnificent spectacle. The sky sparkled with constellations that formed shapes and patterns, telling stories of old. The moonlight danced across the village, bringing with it a sense of joy and unity. Elara returned to the village, her heart filled with a profound sense of fulfillment. The villagers welcomed her with open arms, and the magic of the moonlit melody became a cherished part of their lives. The village thrived, and Elara's music continued to bring comfort and happiness to all. The story of Elara and the moonlit melody became a treasured tale in Leora, a reminder of the magic that exists when we follow our hearts and embrace the beauty around us. The moonstone pendant was passed down through generations, a symbol of the bond between the moon and the people of Leora. And so, under the watchful gaze of the moon and the enchanting melodies that graced the village, Leora remained a land of magic and harmony, forever blessed by the heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Harmonia, there was a charming village named Melody Springs. Known for its beautiful music and skilled musicians, Melody Springs was a place where harmony reigned supreme. Among its residents was a young girl named Lila, who had a voice so enchanting that it could make the flowers bloom and the birds sing along. Lila lived with her parents in a cozy cottage on the edge of the village. Her mother was a renowned harpist, and her father was a master violinist. They often played together, filling their home with the sweetest melodies. Lila loved singing along, and her dream was to find the legendary enchanted harp, a magical instrument said to produce music so beautiful it could heal any ailment and bring peace to troubled hearts. One fateful day, a terrible storm struck the village, bringing sickness and despair. The once cheerful tunes of Melody Springs were replaced by the sounds of coughing and crying. Lila's parents fell ill, and despite her best efforts to care for them, they grew weaker each day. Desperate to save her parents and restore joy to her village, Lila decided to search for the enchanted harp. The legend of the enchanted harp told of its resting place deep within the Whispering Woods, guarded by mythical creatures and protected by powerful spells. With a heart full of determination and a small bag of provisions, Lila set off on her quest at dawn. As she entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper secrets and warnings. The path was unclear, and the shadows played tricks on her eyes. Suddenly, a majestic stag with antlers like silver branches appeared before her. "Why do you venture into these woods, young one?" the stag asked. "I seek the enchanted harp to heal my parents and bring happiness back to my village," Lila replied. The stag looked at her with gentle eyes. "Your intentions are noble. I will guide you to the Forest of Echoes, where the guardian of the harp resides. But beware, the path is fraught with challenges that will test your heart." Grateful for the stag's help, Lila followed him through the dense forest. They crossed sparkling streams and climbed rocky hills, and as they walked, the stag told Lila stories of the forest and its magic. After a long journey, they arrived at the Forest of Echoes, a mystical place where every sound seemed to linger and repeat. In the center of the forest stood a grand tree with golden leaves, and at its base lay the enchanted harp, glowing softly with an ethereal light. But between Lila and the harp was a fierce griffin, its wings spread wide and its eyes blazing. "Who dares to approach the enchanted harp?" the griffin roared. "It is I, Lila of Melody Springs," she said, stepping forward bravely. "I seek the harp to heal my parents and my village." The griffin studied her for a moment. "The harp is not for the faint of heart. To claim it, you must prove your worth by completing 3 tasks." Lila nodded, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. "First," the griffin said, "you must find the melody stone hidden within this forest. It emits a tune that only the pure of heart can hear." Lila closed her eyes and listened intently to the sounds around her. Focusing on her love for her parents and her village, she followed a faint, beautiful melody. After a long search, she found the melody stone beneath a bed of moss, its tune growing louder as she approached. The griffin nodded in approval. "Second, you must mend the broken lyre. It has been shattered for centuries, and only the hands of the kind-hearted can restore it." Lila gathered the pieces of the broken lyre scattered around the forest and began to piece them together. She sang softly as she worked, her voice guiding her hands. Slowly, the lyre came together, whole and beautiful once more. Finally, the griffin said, "You must sing a song that touches my heart, proving your intentions are true." Lila took a deep breath and began to sing a lullaby her mother used to sing to her. Her voice filled the forest, and even the trees seemed to lean in to listen. As she sang, the griffin's fierce expression softened, and tears glistened in its eyes. "You have proven yourself worthy, Lila," the griffin said. "The enchanted harp is yours." With reverence, Lila approached the harp and gently strummed its strings. A melody more beautiful than anything she had ever heard filled the air. She felt the harp's magic flow through her, and she knew it would heal her parents and bring joy back to Melody Springs. The stag led Lila safely back to her village, where she played the enchanted harp for her parents and the villagers. The harp's magic worked wonders, curing the sick and lifting everyone's spirits. Melody Springs was filled with music and laughter once more. Lila's parents embraced her, their eyes filled with pride and gratitude. "You have brought hope and happiness back to our lives, my brave daughter," her mother said. From that day on, Lila continued to play the enchanted harp, using its magic to help those in need. Her story spread far and wide, inspiring others to believe in the power of love, music, and courage. And so, the kingdom of Harmonia thrived, forever grateful to the brave girl who brought the magic of the enchanted harp into their lives. The end. Once upon a time, in the mystical land of Astralon, there was a kingdom nestled among the stars. Astralon was a place where the sky met the earth, and every night, the heavens would light up with the most breathtaking display of stars. In the heart of this kingdom, there grew a rare and magical flower known as the starflower. It was said that whoever possessed the starflower would be blessed with eternal wisdom and prosperity. The starflower bloomed only once every 100 years, and the time for its next bloom was approaching. the kingdom eagerly awaited the moment, for the current king, Orion, had grown old and weary, and he needed the wisdom of the Starflower to guide his kingdom into a new era of peace and prosperity. Among the people of Astralon was a young girl named Lyra. She was kind-hearted, adventurous, and loved by all who knew her. Lyra had always been fascinated by the tales of the Starflower and dreamed of seeing it bloom one day. She often spent her evenings gazing at the stars, imagining the wonders that awaited her in the enchanted forest where the Starflower grew. As the time for the Starflower's bloom drew near, King Orion announced a great quest. He called upon the bravest and most worthy individuals to journey into the enchanted forest and retrieve the Starflower. The one who succeeded would not only bring prosperity to the kingdom but would also be granted one wish. Lyra, filled with determination and excitement, decided to embark on the quest. She knew the journey would be perilous, but her heart was set on seeing the Starflower and helping her beloved kingdom. With her parents' blessings and a small satchel of supplies, Lyra set off on her adventure. As she entered the enchanted forest, Lyra encountered a wise old owl named Athos. Perched high in the branches of an ancient tree, Athos greeted her with a gentle hoot. "Young traveler," Athos said, "I see you seek the Starflower. The path is fraught with challenges, but I can guide you. Answer my riddle, and I will help you on your way. What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up it goes, and yet never grows?" Lyra thought for a moment and then replied, "A mountain." Athos nodded approvingly and spread his wings. "Correct. Follow me, and I will lead you to the first trial." Lyra followed Athos deeper into the forest until they reached a crystal-clear lake. By the lake stood a beautiful water nymph named Selene. Her eyes sparkled like the surface of the water, and she greeted Lyra with a warm smile. "To cross this lake," Selene said, "you must show your kindness and empathy. There is a wounded fish trapped among the reeds. Help it, and I will grant you safe passage." Lyra found the fish and gently freed it from the reeds, using herbs from her satchel to heal its wounds. The fish swam away, and Selene, touched by Lyra's kindness, created a path of water lilies across the lake. On the other side of the lake, Lyra encountered a majestic stag named Erinder, the guardian of the Starflower. Erinder's antlers glowed with a soft, magical light, and his presence commanded respect. "Brave traveler," Erinder said, "to reach the Starflower, you must face your greatest fears. Beyond this point lies the Cave of Shadows, where your deepest fears will manifest. Only those with the purest hearts can pass." Lyra took a deep breath and stepped into the Cave of Shadows. The darkness enveloped her, and visions of her fears began to appear. She saw her loved ones in danger, her village in ruins, and herself lost and alone. But Lyra remembered her purpose and the love she had for her kingdom. She faced each fear with courage and determination, and soon the shadows began to fade. Emerging from the cave, Lyra found herself in a radiant clearing where the Starflower stood in full bloom. Its petals shimmered with a celestial light, and the air around it was filled with a soothing, melodic hum. Lyra approached the Starflower and carefully picked it, feeling its magic resonate within her. With the Starflower in hand, Lyra made her way back to the kingdom. The journey had been long and arduous, but her spirit remained unbroken. As she reached the palace, King Orion greeted her with tears of joy in his eyes. "Lyra," the king said, "you have done a great service to Astralon. You have proven your bravery, kindness, and wisdom. The Starflower will bring prosperity to our kingdom, and as promised, you are granted one wish." Lyra thought for a moment and then spoke. "Your Majesty, my wish is for the wisdom and prosperity of the Starflower to be shared with all the people of Astralon. Let its magic bring peace and harmony to every corner of our land." The king, deeply moved by Lyra's selflessness, granted her wish. The magic of the Starflower spread throughout the kingdom, healing the land and uniting the people. Under the guidance of King Orion and the wisdom of the Starflower, Astralon entered a golden age of peace and prosperity. Lyra was celebrated as a hero, and her tale was told for generations to come. The Starflower Princess, they called her, the girl who brought light and harmony to the kingdom with her bravery and pure heart. And so, the kingdom of Astralon thrived, its people living in joy and unity, forever grateful to the young girl who dared to venture into the enchanted forest and retrieve the magical starflower. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the skies were always blue and the meadows were filled with wildflowers, there lay the kingdom of Luminera. It was a realm of peace and prosperity, where magic was woven into the fabric of everyday life. At the heart of this kingdom was a village named Sunvale, known for its golden fields and the warmth of its people. In Sunvale lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known throughout the village for her kindness and her curiosity about the world beyond the village borders. She lived with her father, a humble blacksmith, and her mother, a weaver of enchanting tapestries. Lila's favorite companion was her pet raven, Corvus, who was as curious as she was and often helped her discover hidden quarters of the village and the surrounding forest. One sunny morning, as Lila and Corvus explored the edge of the forest, they came across an old, weathered map half buried in the soil. The map depicted a path leading deep into the enchanted forest, a place whispered about in bedtime stories but rarely visited. At the center of the map was an illustration of a magnificent, glowing crystal known as the Heart of Luminera. Legend said that the Heart of Luminera was a source of immense magic and could grant a single wish to the one who found it. Excited by the discovery, Lila showed the map to her parents. Her mother, with a worried look, warned her of the dangers that lay within the enchanted forest. But her father, seeing the determination in Lila's eyes, gave her a small, sturdy dagger and a pouch of provisions. "You must be brave and wise, Lila," he said. "Remember, true courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." With Corvus perched on her shoulder, Lila set off on her adventure. The map led her through winding paths and over sparkling streams. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and their leaves whispered secrets of old. Soon, she arrived at the first challenge, a vast, shimmering lake with no visible way to cross it. Suddenly, a graceful swan emerged from the reeds. "To cross the lake, you must answer my riddle," the swan said. "What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and can enter but not go outside?" Lila thought for a moment, then smiled. "A keyboard," she replied confidently. The swan nodded, and a bridge of light appeared across the lake. Lila and Corvus crossed safely and continued their journey. They soon reached a dense part of the forest where the sunlight barely reached the ground. In the midst of the darkness, they encountered a wise old owl sitting on a low branch. "To proceed, you must show your wisdom," the owl hooted. "Tell me, what is always in front of you but can't be seen?" Lila pondered the question, then said, "The future." The owl flapped its wings in approval, and a narrow path lit up, guiding them through the dark woods. As they followed the path, they reached a meadow filled with colorful flowers. In the center of the meadow was a beautiful, but sorrowful, unicorn with a broken horn. The unicorn spoke, its voice soft and melodic. "To find the Heart of Luminera, you must demonstrate compassion. My horn is broken, and I cannot heal without it." Moved by the unicorn's plight, Lila took out her father's dagger and carefully crafted a splint for the broken horn using sturdy branches and her mother's woven fabric. The unicorn's horn began to glow and then magically mended itself. "You have shown great compassion," the unicorn said, now radiant with health. "Climb onto my back, and I will take you to the Heart of Luminera." Lila and Corvus climbed onto the unicorn, and in a flash of light, they were transported to a hidden glade where the Heart of Luminera rested on a pedestal of crystal. The heart was even more magnificent than the stories had described, glowing with an ethereal light that filled the glade with warmth and magic. As Lila approached the heart, a dark figure emerged from the shadows. It was the sorcerer Malachi, who had been searching for the Heart of Luminera for his own nefarious purposes. "That heart belongs to me," he snarled. Lila stood her ground, her hand gripping the dagger's hilt. "The Heart of Luminera belongs to all who seek it with a pure heart," she declared. Malachi laughed, but before he could cast a spell, Corvus swooped down and pecked at his eyes, causing him to stumble backward. Lila seized the moment and touched the heart, making her wish, "I wish for the power to protect my kingdom from all harm." The heart of Luminera glowed even brighter, and a wave of magic spread throughout the forest, banishing Malachi and healing the land. The heart then transformed into a beautiful necklace, which Lila placed around her neck. With the heart's magic now protecting Luminera, Lila returned to Sunvale, greeted by cheers and celebrations. Her bravery and compassion had saved the kingdom, and she was hailed as a hero. From that day on, Lila continued to explore and protect her kingdom, always guided by the lessons she had learned. The story of her journey and the heart of Luminera became a legend, inspiring generations to come. And so, the kingdom of Luminera lived happily ever after, flourishing under the watchful eye of their brave young hero. Once upon a time, nestled between towering mountains and the serene, shimmering lake, there lay a forgotten kingdom named Eldoria. Long ago, Eldoria was known for its breathtaking beauty and the wisdom of its people. However, a terrible curse had fallen upon the land, casting it into darkness and erasing it from the memories of neighboring kingdoms. The curse could only be broken by a humble soul who truly loved the land. In a small, bustling village far from Eldoria, there lived a kind-hearted carpenter named Rowan. Rowan was known for his craftsmanship and his generous nature, always willing to help those in need. One day, while wandering through the forest in search of the finest wood, Rowan stumbled upon an old, crumbling bridge. Curiosity sparked within him, and he decided to follow the overgrown path that lay beyond. After hours of trekking through dense woods and steep hills, Rowan found himself standing before the gates of an ancient, abandoned city. The air was thick with an eerie silence, and the buildings, though majestic, were covered in vines and moss. Rowan's heart ached at the sight of such a once beautiful place fallen into ruin. As he explored the deserted streets, he came across an old, dusty library. Intrigued, Rowan stepped inside and found a book that seemed untouched by time. It was a diary, written by the last queen of Eldoria, Queen Seraphina. The diary told of a powerful curse placed upon the kingdom by a jealous sorcerer, who envied the peace and prosperity of Eldoria. The curse could only be broken by a pure-hearted individual who could restore Eldoria's spirit and rebuild its beauty. Rowan, moved by the queen's words and the plight of the kingdom, decided to stay and try to lift the curse. He began by repairing the buildings, starting with the library. His days were filled with hard work, but his nights were filled with hope as he read more about Eldoria's history and its people. One day, while repairing a broken window in the palace, Rowan found a small, hidden chamber. Inside, he discovered a beautiful, ornate harp. According to Queen Seraphina's diary, the harp was enchanted and had the power to summon the spirit of the land. Rowan carefully carried the harp to the grand hall and began to play a soft, melodious tune. As the music filled the air, a gentle light began to emanate from the harp. The spirit of Queen Seraphina appeared before Rowan, her eyes filled with gratitude and sorrow. "Brave carpenter," she said, "your love for this land has awakened me. To lift the curse, you must find the 3 lost relics of Eldoria, the crown of wisdom, the shield of courage, and the heartstone of love. Only then can the kingdom be restored to its former glory." Determined, Rowan set off on his quest to find the relics. His first stop was the Whispering Woods, where the crown of wisdom was said to be hidden. The woods were filled with ancient trees that whispered secrets to those who would listen. Rowan, with patience and respect, listened to their whispers and discovered the crown buried beneath a mighty oak tree. Next, Rowan journeyed to the Cavern of Shadows, where the Shield of Courage was guarded by a fearsome dragon. Rowan approached the dragon with humility and spoke of his quest to save Eldoria. The dragon, moved by Rowan's bravery and sincerity, bestowed upon him the shield, recognizing the courage in his heart. Finally, Rowan ventured to the Lake of Reflection, where the Heartstone of Love lay hidden beneath the tranquil waters. To retrieve it, Rowan had to confront his own deepest fears and doubts, seeing them reflected in the water's surface. With a pure heart and unwavering determination, Rowan dived into the lake and emerged with the glowing Heartstone in his hand. With the 3 relics in his possession, Rowan returned to Eldoria and placed them on the altar in the palace's grand hall. As he did, the ground trembled, and a radiant light enveloped the kingdom. The curse was lifted, and Eldoria began to bloom once more. The buildings were restored, the skies cleared, and the people, long forgotten, returned to their beloved land. Queen Seraphina appeared before Rowan once again, her spirit now at peace. "You have saved Eldoria, brave carpenter," she said. "Your love and dedication have brought life back to this kingdom. You shall be remembered as the hero who restored our land." Rowan, though humbled, insisted he had merely done what was right. He continued to live in Eldoria, helping to rebuild and guide the people. Under his care, the kingdom flourished and became a beacon of hope and prosperity. And so, the tale of Rowan, the brave carpenter who lifted the curse and restored the lost kingdom of Eldoria, was passed down through generations, reminding all that even the humblest of hearts can achieve greatness. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, magical forest, there was a quaint village called Elderglen. The villagers lived in harmony with nature and were blessed with a serene life, thanks to a mysterious artifact known as the Enchanted Mirror. This ancient mirror, kept in the village's grand hall, was said to reflect not just one's image but also their true intentions and the path they were meant to follow. One day, as the village prepared for the annual Festival of Lights, a dark shadow began to loom over Elderglen. The enchanted mirror, which had always glowed with a soft, golden light, dimmed and went dark. Without the mirror's guidance, the village's crops began to wither, and the once vibrant forest grew quiet and still. The villagers were troubled, for they knew that the mirror's light was vital to their prosperity. Among the villagers was a brave young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curiosity and courage. Determined to save her village, she decided to find out what had happened to the enchanted mirror. She approached the village elder, an old woman named Seraphina, who had guarded the mirror for many years. "Seraphina, what can we do to restore the mirror's light?" Lyra asked earnestly. Seraphina's eyes, though weary, sparkled with hope. The enchanted mirror is linked to a magical artifact called the Moonstone. It is said that the Moonstone was stolen by a mischievous sorcerer who resides in the Shadow Caves. You must retrieve the Moonstone and return it to restore the mirror's light. Lyra nodded, ready for the challenge. She set off towards the Shadow Caves, which were located at the far end of the forest. Armed with a lantern, a map of the forest, and a small pouch of enchanted herbs for protection, Lyra ventured into the unknown. As she approached the Shadow Caves, she noticed that the entrance was guarded by a fierce, shadowy creature known as the Shade Beast. The Shade Beast growled, its eyes glowing like embers. "To enter the caves, you must pass my test," it rumbled. "Solve my riddle, or you shall not proceed." Lyra took a deep breath and listened carefully. The Shade Beast continued, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle for a moment before replying, "A cloud." The Shade Beast's eyes softened, and it stepped aside, allowing Lyra to enter the caves. Inside, the Shadow Caves were a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and eerie echoes. Lyra followed the map, using her lantern to light the way. After some time, she found herself at the center of the cave, where a dark, glittering chest lay upon a stone pedestal. The Moonstone was nestled inside, glowing with a soft, silver light. However, the chest was protected by a magical barrier that could only be dispelled by a pure-hearted person. Lyra approached the chest and placed her hand on it. The barrier shimmered and then vanished. Lyra carefully took the Moonstone, feeling its cool, soothing energy. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, a mischievous sorcerer with a cloak as dark as night. "So, you have found my Moonstone," he sneered. "But it is not so easy to leave the caves with it." Lyra stood her ground. "I am taking this Moonstone back to restore the enchanted mirror and save my village." The sorcerer's expression softened. "Many have tried to retrieve the Moonstone, but none have shown such determination and bravery. Perhaps, there is more to you than meets the eye." He waved his hand, and the shadows around them began to lift. "You may leave with the Moonstone. Just remember, it is the light of courage and heart that truly guides us." Lyra thanked the sorcerer and made her way back to Elderglen. As she approached the village, she was greeted by anxious villagers. With a triumphant smile, Lyra placed the moonstone back into its rightful place in the enchanted mirror. The mirror's golden light burst forth, illuminating the village and the surrounding forest. The crops revived, the flowers bloomed, and the forest came alive with vibrant sounds. The villagers cheered and celebrated, grateful to Lyra for her bravery. That evening, during the Festival of Lights, the village honored Lyra with a special celebration. The enchanted mirror's light shone brighter than ever, and the village flourished once more. Lyra's story became a cherished tale in Elderglen, reminding everyone that courage, determination, and a pure heart could overcome even the darkest of challenges. And so, Elderglen continued to thrive, forever guided by the light of the enchanted mirror and the bravery of one extraordinary girl. Once upon a time, in a kingdom not found on any map, there was a realm of gears and magic called Clockwork. This land was ruled by a wise and kind-hearted queen named Elara. Queen Elara was no ordinary monarch, she had a special gift. Her heart was connected to the kingdom's grand clock, a magnificent timepiece that ticked rhythmically at the center of the capital city. This clock wasn't just for telling time, it governed the very essence of magic in the land. The kingdom thrived in harmony, thanks to the clock. Every tick brought a fresh bloom of flowers, and every talk sent a gentle breeze to cool the land. However, this perfect balance was threatened one fateful day when a mysterious shadowy figure appeared at the edge of the kingdom. This figure was none other than an envious sorcerer named Malachi, who had longed for the magic of the Clockwork Kingdom. He harbored a dark spell that could halt the grand clock's gears, plunging the land into chaos. Disguised as a humble traveler, Malachi entered the kingdom and managed to slip into the palace unnoticed. There, he whispered his spell into the heart of the clock. As the spell took hold, the once harmonious ticking of the clock began to falter. Flowers wilted, and the breeze turned into a harsh wind. Queen Elara, sensing the imbalance, knew that something was terribly wrong. She called upon her trusted advisor, a clever mechanical owl named Hoot, and together they set out to find the source of the disturbance. Hoot's mechanical eyes scanned the kingdom's clockwork machinery while Elara used her magic to sense the disruption. They soon discovered the dark enchantment at the heart of the clock. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Elara and Hoot needed to act quickly to save their beloved kingdom. They set out on a perilous journey to find the only thing that could break Malachi's spell, a legendary artifact known as the Crystal Key. This key was said to be hidden deep within the enchanted forest, guarded by ancient beings and tricky puzzles. The enchanted forest was no ordinary woodland. Its trees whispered secrets, and its paths shifted with every step. Elara and Hoot ventured deeper into the forest, facing numerous challenges. They solved riddles posed by talking animals, navigated through shifting illusions, and even braved the trials of the Forest Guardian, a majestic stag with eyes like glowing emeralds. At the heart of the forest, they finally reached the hidden sanctuary where the crystal key lay. It was a radiant gem that pulsed with a soft, inviting glow. But to retrieve it, they needed to answer one final riddle posed by the Guardian: what binds time and magic together, yet never can be seen? Elara thought deeply, her mind racing through the magical principles she had learned over the years. Then it struck her, "It is the essence of balance," she exclaimed. The Guardian's eyes sparkled with approval, and the crystal key floated into her hands. With the crystal key in their possession, Elara and Hoot raced back to the kingdom. As they approached the grand clock, Malachi reappeared, furious at their success. He tried to unleash his dark magic once more, but Elara was ready. She used the crystal key to counteract the spell, and with a surge of magic, the grand clock began to tick smoothly once again. The kingdom's harmony was restored. Flowers bloomed, and the breeze became gentle once more. Malachi, realizing he was defeated, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. Queen Elara and Hoot were celebrated as heroes. The kingdom rejoiced in their restored magic and balance. From that day on, the grand clock continued its steady rhythm, and the people of Clockwork lived in peace and prosperity. And as for Elara, she never forgot the lesson that balance was the key to harmony, and that even in times of darkness, courage, and wisdom could restore the light. And so, in the enchanted land of clockwork, time ticked on, carrying with it the magic of harmony in the legacy of a brave queen and her loyal friend. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. In a tranquil corner of the world, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, lay the village of Evergreen. This village was known for its serene beauty and its most enchanting feature, the Whispering Glade. The glade was a mystical forest where trees whispered secrets to those who listened closely and where moonlight danced on leaves, creating a shimmering, magical glow. The guardian of this enchanting place was an elderly woman named Elara. Elara had lived in Evergreen all her life and was known for her wisdom and kindness. Her greatest joy was tending to the Whispering Glade, which had been a source of wonder and comfort for the villagers for generations. One evening, as twilight turned the sky into a canvas of pink and gold, a young girl named Lily arrived at Evergreen. Lily was curious and brave, with a heart full of wonder. She had heard tales of the Whispering Glade and its magical secrets and came to see if the stories were true. The glade's secret Elara welcomed Lily warmly and agreed to take her to the Whispering Glade. As they walked through the forest, Elara explained that the glade was special because it held a powerful secret, one that was protected by a hidden enchantment. This secret was a magical crystal known as the Heart of the Glade. The crystal had the power to grant one true wish, but only to someone who proved their worthiness. When they reached the heart of the glade, a small, clear pool surrounded by ancient trees, Elara pointed out the crystal nestled at the pool's center. It glowed softly, casting a serene light across the glade. The challenge of courage. Elara told Lily that to be worthy of making a wish, she must face 3 challenges that tested her courage, kindness, and wisdom. The first challenge was to retrieve a special leaf from the top of the tallest tree in the glade. Lily looked up at the towering tree, its branches reaching high into the sky. With determination, she began to climb. The tree's branches were thick and gnarled, but Lily's courage and perseverance helped her overcome her fears. She reached the top and carefully plucked the shimmering leaf, which glowed with a soft light. The challenge of kindness next, Elara led Lily to a small clearing where a magical creature called a Lumisprite was trapped in a net of sparkling threads. The Lumisprite was crying softly, and its light was dimming. Elara explained that the Lumisprite was the guardian of the second challenge, which tested kindness. Lily approached the Lumisprite gently, speaking soothingly. She carefully freed it from the net, using a delicate touch to avoid hurting it. The Lumisprite's light brightened as it felt Lily's compassion. Grateful, it revealed a hidden path through the glade, leading to the final challenge. The challenge of wisdom. The final challenge was to solve a riddle that would reveal the location of the heart of the glade. At the end of the hidden path, Lily found an ancient stone with inscriptions. The riddle read, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lily thought carefully. The answer came to her as she remembered the stories and games she enjoyed. With a confident smile, she answered, "A joke." The stone shifted, revealing a hidden compartment containing the heart of the glade. The true wish. With the heart of the glade in hand, Lily faced her most important decision. Elara had told her that the wish must be selfless, made with the purest of intentions. Lily closed her eyes and thought deeply about what her wish should be. She remembered the stories of how the glade had brought joy and comfort to the villagers of Evergreen. She wished for the Whispering Glade to remain a place of magic and wonder for future generations, so that its beauty and secrets could continue to bring happiness to those who visit it. The heart of the glade glowed brightly, and a soft, musical whisper filled the air, spreading across the forest. The trees swayed gently, and the glade's magic was renewed, stronger and more vibrant than ever. A new guardian. Elara smiled proudly at Lily. The magic of the glade had been restored, and the wish had been fulfilled. Lily's kindness, courage, and wisdom had proven her worthiness. As a reward for her pure heart, Elara offered Lily a special role as the new guardian of the Whispering Glade. Lily accepted with joy, knowing she would help preserve the magic of the glade and share its wonders with others. Lily became a beloved guardian, guiding visitors through the glade and teaching them the values of courage, kindness, and wisdom. The Whispering Glade continued to shine with magical light, a timeless sanctuary where dreams came alive and the whispers of the forest could be heard. And so, in the village of Evergreen, the Whispering Glade remained a beacon of magic and wonder, thanks to the bravery and selflessness of a young girl who embraced the enchantment of the forest and made a wish that would be remembered forever. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the foot of a grand mountain, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily loved nature and spent most of her time tending to her garden, which was the most beautiful in the village. Her garden was filled with vibrant flowers, delicious fruits, and fragrant herbs. People from all around would come to admire her garden and seek her advice on growing plants. One sunny morning, as Lily was watering her flowers, she noticed something unusual. A tiny, shimmering light darted through her garden and disappeared into a patch of roses. Curious, Lily followed the light and carefully parted the rose bushes. To her astonishment, she found a tiny fairy with delicate wings, caught in the thorny branches. "Please help me," the fairy pleaded with a soft, melodic voice. "I got lost and tangled in these thorns." Lily gently freed the fairy and placed her on a soft petal. "Thank you, kind human," the fairy said. "I am Flora, the fairy of the enchanted garden. As a token of my gratitude, I will grant you one wish." Lily thought for a moment and replied, "I wish for my garden to be the most beautiful and magical place in the world, where all creatures can find peace and happiness." Flora smiled and waved her tiny wand. A sparkling light enveloped the garden, and Lily watched in awe as her garden transformed. The flowers grew larger and more vibrant, the fruits became juicier and sweeter, and the herbs emitted the most delightful fragrances. But the most incredible change was the appearance of magical creatures. Butterflies with wings like stained glass, hummingbirds that sang melodies, and even tiny unicorns now roamed the garden. News of the enchanted garden spread quickly, and soon, people from distant lands came to witness its beauty. The garden became a place of wonder and joy, where everyone felt a sense of peace and happiness. One day, a young prince named Henry arrived at the garden. He had heard tales of its magic and wanted to see it for himself. As he wandered through the garden, he met Lily and was immediately struck by her kindness and beauty. "Lily," Prince Henry said, "your garden is the most magnificent place I have ever seen. How did it come to be so magical?" Lily told him the story of Flora, the fairy of the enchanted garden, and her wish for a place where all creatures could find peace and happiness. Prince Henry was deeply moved by her selflessness. "Lily, your heart is as beautiful as your garden," he said. "Would you come with me to my kingdom and help make it as wonderful as this garden?" Lily agreed, and together, they traveled to Prince Henry's kingdom. With Flora's blessing, they transformed the kingdom into a land of beauty and magic, where everyone lived in harmony with nature. The enchanted garden continued to flourish, serving as a reminder of the power of kindness and selflessness. And so, Lily and Prince Henry ruled their kingdom with love and wisdom, and their story became a beloved fairy tale passed down through generations. The enchanted garden remained a place of wonder and joy, a testament to the magic that can be found in a kind heart and a wish for happiness for all. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a hidden grove known only to the creatures of the forest and the wise old forest guardian. This grove was special because it held the secret to a long-lost enchantment, a magic that could bring peace and prosperity to the land. The story begins with a young girl named Elara, who lived in a small village on the edge of the forest. Elara was known for her kindness and bravery. She loved exploring the woods, though she had never ventured deep enough to find the fabled enchanted grove. One day, her village was struck by a terrible drought, and the crops withered away, leaving the villagers worried and despondent. Desperate to save her home, Elara decided to seek the grove's magic. She set out with a small satchel of supplies, her faithful dog, Luna, by her side. As she walked, Elara followed a path of sparkling pebbles she had heard about in village legends. These pebbles were said to lead to the grove. The journey was arduous, with dense thickets and mysterious noises surrounding them. Yet, Elara's determination and Luna's keen senses guided them forward. As they ventured deeper into the forest, They encountered various creatures in need, a lost fawn, a family of owls, and a hedgehog with a thorn in its paw. Elara, always compassionate, helped each one, earning their gratitude. The animals, seeing her pure heart, decided to aid her in her quest. The fawn showed her a shortcut, the owls offered guidance from the treetops, and the hedgehog led them to a hidden stream for fresh water. One evening, as the sun began to set, Elara and Luna stumbled upon a clearing bathed in golden light. In the center was a majestic oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. Above the door was an inscription that read, "Only the kind-hearted may enter." Elara, feeling a surge of hope, gently pushed the door open. Inside, the grove was a breathtaking sight. Flowers of every color imaginable bloomed, and a soft, shimmering light filled the air. At the center stood the forest guardian, an ancient being with a cloak of leaves and eyes that sparkled like the stars. "Welcome, Elara," the guardian said in a voice like rustling leaves. "I have been expecting you. Your journey has shown great courage and kindness. What is it that you seek?" Elara explained the plight of her village and asked for the magic that could bring life back to their fields. The guardian nodded thoughtfully and held out a small, crystal vial filled with glowing liquid. "This is the elixir of renewal," the guardian explained. "It has the power to restore life and balance to the land. But remember, it is not just the magic that will save your village. Your continued kindness and courage are equally important." With the vial in hand, Elara and Luna returned to the village. The villagers were amazed to see her return safely and with such a wondrous gift. Elara poured the elixir into the dry fields, and as if touched by magic, the crops began to flourish. The trees regained their leaves, and the village's wellspring flowed with crystal clear water once more. The villagers celebrated Elara's bravery and the return of prosperity. From that day on, they took to heart the lessons of kindness and courage Elara had demonstrated. The village thrived, and the story of Elara and the Enchanted Grove became a cherished tale passed down through generations. And so, the grove remained hidden but ever watchful, a testament to the enduring power of kindness and the magic that dwells in every brave heart. Once upon a time, in a village called Greenvale, there lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her bright eyes, curious nature, and a heart full of dreams. She loved to explore the world around her and often ventured into the nearby Whispering Woods, a place filled with ancient trees and enchanting stories. One warm summer afternoon, while wandering through the woods, Lila stumbled upon a hidden path she had never seen before. Intrigued, she followed it, weaving through thick bushes and tall trees. As she walked, she heard faint whispers in the air, like the forest was trying to tell her something. The path led her to a small clearing with a crystal-clear pond at its center. The water shimmered under the sunlight, and beside it stood an old willow tree with its branches gently swaying. Lila approached the tree and noticed a tiny door at its base, almost hidden among the roots. Curiosity getting the better of her, Lila knocked on the door. To her surprise, it creaked open, and out came a tiny fairy with sparkling wings and a kind smile. "Hello, Lila," the fairy said. "I am Faye, the guardian of the Whispering Woods. You have been chosen for a special quest." Lila's eyes widened with excitement. "A quest? What kind of quest?" Faye fluttered her wings and explained, "The heart of the Whispering Woods is in danger. The magic that keeps our forest alive is fading because the ancient tree of life is losing its strength. We need your help to find the 3 magical crystals that can restore its power." Lila agreed without hesitation, eager to help and embark on an adventure. Faye handed her a map and a small, enchanted lantern. "This map will guide you, and the lantern will light your way. But remember, the crystals are hidden in places that test your courage, wisdom, and kindness." With the map in hand, Lila set off on her quest. Her first stop was the Cave of Shadows, where the Crystal of Courage was hidden. The cave was dark and filled with eerie sounds, but Lila pressed on, her lantern casting a warm glow. She encountered giant spiders and shadowy figures but faced them bravely. At the cave's end, she found the glowing blue crystal and tucked it safely into her pouch. Next, the map led her to the enchanted maze, where the crystal of wisdom was hidden. The maze was a twisting, turning labyrinth with walls that seemed to move on their own. Lila relied on her memory and problem-solving skills to navigate through. She encountered riddles and puzzles, which she solved with patience and intelligence. Finally, she reached the maze's center and found the radiant green crystal. The last destination was the Meadow of Whispers, where the crystal of kindness was hidden. The meadow was filled with animals in need of help, injured birds, lost deer, and scared rabbits. Lila spent time caring for each creature, showing them love and compassion. As she did, a beautiful pink crystal appeared before her, glowing with a gentle light. With all 3 crystals in her possession, Lila hurried back to the Tree of Life. Faye was waiting for her, and together, they placed the crystals around the tree's roots. The crystals began to glow, and a brilliant light enveloped the tree. Slowly, the Tree of Life regained its strength, and the magic of the Whispering Woods was restored. The trees whispered their gratitude, and the forest came alive with vibrant colors and joyful sounds. Faye thanked Lila for her bravery, wisdom, and kindness. "You have saved our forest, Lila. The Whispering Woods will forever be in your debt." Lila returned to her village, her heart full of pride and joy. She shared her adventure with the villagers, and they celebrated her bravery. The Whispering Woods became a place of wonder and magic, where the villagers often visited to hear the trees whisper tales of Lila's heroic quest. And so, Lila lived a happy life, always ready for the next adventure, knowing that true magic lies in courage, wisdom, and kindness. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom called Luminera, there was a grand castle nestled among rolling green hills and sparkling blue lakes. This castle was home to King Cedric and his daughter, Princess Elara. King Cedric was known for his wisdom and kindness, ruling Luminera with a fair and gentle hand. However, as the years went by, the king's heart grew heavy with sorrow, for a terrible curse had befallen the kingdom. Many years ago, a wicked sorcerer named Malgar had been banished from Luminera for his dark deeds. In his fury, Malgar cast a powerful curse upon the land, causing the once vibrant kingdom to fall into perpetual darkness. The skies were always cloudy, and the once fertile fields yielded no crops. The people of Luminera lived in fear and despair, longing for the day when the sun would shine again. One day, as Princess Elara walked through the gloomy gardens, she came across an old, frail woman sitting by the fountain. The woman had a mysterious aura, and her eyes sparkled with an otherworldly light. Intrigued, Elara approached her. "Good day, kind lady. What brings you to our troubled land?" Elara asked gently. The old woman smiled. "I have come to offer you hope, dear princess. I am Eloria, the enchantress of the woods. There is a way to break the curse that plagues your kingdom." Elara's eyes widened with hope. "Please, tell me what I must do." "The curse can only be broken by the music of the enchanted harp," Eloria explained. "This harp is hidden deep within the Forest of Whispers, guarded by ancient magic and dangerous creatures. You must find it and play the melody of light to restore peace to Luminera." Determined to save her kingdom, Elara set out on her quest the very next day. She wore a simple cloak and carried only a small bag of provisions. Before she left, her father gave her a locket containing a picture of her late mother, Queen Alicia, whose memory gave her strength. Elara journeyed through the dark, foreboding forest, the trees whispering secrets and warnings. Along the way, she encountered many trials. First, she came upon a wide river with no bridge. As she stood at the bank, pondering how to cross, a wise old turtle surfaced from the water. "Why do you seek to cross this river, young one?" the turtle asked. "I am on a quest to find the enchanted harp and save my kingdom from a terrible curse," Elara replied. The turtle nodded. "Your heart is pure, and your cause is noble. Climb onto my back, and I will carry you across." Grateful, Elara climbed onto the turtle's back, and he swam across the river, delivering her safely to the other side. Continuing her journey, Elara entered a dark and twisted part of the forest. Suddenly, a pack of wolves with glowing red eyes surrounded her, growling menacingly. Just as Elara prepared to defend herself, a large, majestic stag appeared. The wolves backed away, sensing the stag's power. "Why do you venture into the heart of darkness, brave princess?" the stag asked, its voice gentle yet commanding. "I seek the enchanted harp to break the curse on my kingdom," Elara answered, her voice steady despite her fear. The stag's eyes softened. "Your courage is admirable. Follow me, and I will guide you through the dangers of the forest." Elara followed the stag, which led her safely past the wolves and through the twisted trees. Eventually, they reached a clearing bathed in soft, magical light. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent tree, its branches adorned with glowing flowers. At the base of the tree lay the enchanted harp, its golden strings shimmering in the light. Elara approached the harp, but as she reached out to touch it, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was Malgar, the wicked sorcerer. "Did you really think you could thwart my curse so easily?" Malgar sneered. "You will never leave this forest alive." Elara stood her ground, her heart pounding with fear. But before she could react, the enchanted harp began to play a soft, melodious tune on its own. The music was so beautiful and pure that it filled the clearing with a brilliant light, pushing back the darkness. Malgar screamed in agony as the light enveloped him, and with a final, desperate cry, he vanished into thin air. The curse that had plagued Luminera for so long was broken. Elara, tears of joy streaming down her face, picked up the harp and began to play the melody of light. The music resonated through the forest, and as it did, the trees blossomed, the skies cleared, and the sun began to shine once more. The animals of the forest gathered around, listening in awe as Elara played. The melody traveled far and wide, reaching the ears of the people of Luminera. They looked up to see the dark clouds parting, revealing a bright, clear sky for the first time in years. Elara returned to the castle, where she was greeted with cheers and celebrations. King Cedric embraced his daughter, tears of pride and happiness in his eyes. "You have saved us all, my brave Elara," he said. The kingdom of Luminera flourished once more, the fields green and bountiful, and the people joyful and prosperous. The enchanted harp was placed in a place of honor in the castle, a reminder of the courage and determination of Princess Elara. And so, Elara's name was remembered for generations to come, a beacon of hope and a symbol of the power of love and music. The kingdom of Luminera lived in peace and harmony, forever grateful to the princess who brought light back into their lives. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a magical garden known as the Moonflower Meadow. This meadow was famous for its rare flowers that bloomed only under the light of the full moon. The most enchanting of these was the moonflower, a delicate blossom that glowed with a soft, silvery light. Legend had it that the moonflower held the power to grant one wish to anyone who found it on the night of the full moon. In the nearby village lived a young girl named Isla. She was known for her curiosity and kind heart. Every month, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Isla would visit the Moonflower Meadow, hoping to catch a glimpse of the magical flower. Yet, despite her many visits, she had never seen it bloom. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Isla decided that this time she would solve the mystery of the moonflower. She dressed warmly in her favorite cloak and set off towards the meadow, her heart full of hope and determination. As Isla entered the meadow, the soft moonlight bathed the landscape in a gentle glow. She wandered among the blooming flowers, their petals shimmering like stars. Despite the beauty around her, she couldn't find the elusive moonflower. Suddenly, Isla noticed a flickering light in the distance. Following the light, she discovered a small, hidden glade where an old, wise-looking owl perched on a branch. The owl's eyes gleamed with ancient knowledge. "Greetings, young Isla," the owl said in a deep, soothing voice. "I see you seek the moonflower. To find it, you must first solve the riddles of the meadow. Only then will the path to the moonflower be revealed." Isla nodded, eager to begin. The owl spoke the first riddle. "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Isla thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." The owl's eyes twinkled with approval. "Correct. Here is your first clue." The owl handed Isla a small, silver leaf that glowed softly in the moonlight. The second riddle followed. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Isla smiled and answered, "A joke." The owl nodded and gave her a tiny, golden star. "Well done. Now for the final riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Isla thought carefully and answered, "A fire." The owl hooted in delight and gave her a crystal vial filled with stardust. "You have solved the riddles and proven your worth. Follow the light of these clues to find the moonflower." With the clues in hand, Isla followed the silver leaf, the golden star, and the stardust. Each clue seemed to lead her closer to the heart of the meadow. Finally, she arrived at a secluded corner where a soft, shimmering light illuminated a single, radiant moonflower. The moonflower was even more beautiful than Isla had imagined. Its petals glowed with a silvery light, casting a gentle, calming aura over the meadow. Isla approached the flower and gently touched its petals. The moonflower's glow grew brighter, and a soft, melodic voice spoke. "You have found me, brave and kind-hearted Isla. What is your wish?" Isla closed her eyes and thought of her village, which had been struggling with a long drought. She wished for rain to restore the land and bring prosperity to her home. As she spoke her wish, the moonflower's light expanded, filling the meadow with a brilliant, soothing glow. The sky above began to cloud over, and soon, gentle rain began to fall. The meadow soaked up the rain, and the land around the village started to flourish with new life. Isla returned to her village to find that the rain had transformed the barren fields into lush, green pastures. The villagers celebrated, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude for the miraculous change. From that day on, the Moonflower Meadow became a cherished part of the village's history. The tale of Isla's bravery and the magical moonflower was passed down through generations, a reminder of the power of kindness and the wonders that can be found when one follows their heart. And so, the moonflower continued to bloom under the light of the full moon, a symbol of hope and magic in the heart of the meadow. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom surrounded by tall, misty mountains and lush green valleys, there was a serene village called Crystalbrook. The village was named after a beautiful lake with crystal-clear waters that shimmered like diamonds under the sunlight. It was said that the lake possessed magical powers, bestowing peace and prosperity upon the village. In Crystalbrook, there lived a young girl named Alina. Alina was known for her compassionate heart and her love for nature. She spent most of her days by the lake, talking to the animals and tending to the vibrant flowers that grew along its shores. She often heard whispers of a legend about a hidden treasure at the bottom of the lake, which could only be found by someone with a pure heart. One summer evening, as Alina was walking by the lake, she noticed the water glowing with an unusual light. Curiosity sparked within her, and she stepped closer to the edge. Suddenly, a graceful swan emerged from the water. Its feathers glistened like silver, and its eyes sparkled with wisdom. Alina, the swan, spoke softly, "I am Selene, the guardian of the crystal lake. A great darkness is approaching our land, and only the treasure hidden within the lake can save us. You have been chosen to retrieve it, for your heart is pure and full of kindness." Alina felt a mixture of fear and determination. "How will I find it?" she asked. Selene extended one of her silver feathers to Alina. "Take this feather," she said. "It will guide you to the treasure and protect you from harm. Remember, only true courage and selflessness will reveal the path." With the feather in hand, Alina waded into the lake. As she moved deeper, the water parted before her, creating a pathway. She followed it to the center of the lake, where she found a hidden cave illuminated by a soft, golden glow. Inside the cave, she discovered an ancient chest adorned with intricate carvings. Alina opened the chest, revealing a beautiful, radiant crystal. As she touched it, the crystal emitted a warm, comforting light. Selene appeared beside her, smiling. "You have found the heart of the lake," Selene said. This crystal holds the power to banish darkness and restore balance to our land. You must take it to the top of Mount Lumina, where its light can shine upon the entire kingdom." Alina knew the journey would be perilous, but she was determined to save her village. She climbed out of the lake, crystal in hand, and began her ascent to Mount Lumina. Along the way, she encountered many challenges. She crossed treacherous ravines, navigated dense forests, and braved harsh winds. As she climbed higher, she met a wounded deer trapped in a thorny thicket. Despite her urgency, Alina couldn't ignore the deer's plight. She carefully freed it, using Celine's feather to heal its wounds. The deer, grateful for her kindness, accompanied her on her journey. Near the summit, a fierce storm threatened to halt her progress. The winds howled, and the skies darkened. But Alina held the crystal close, its light guiding her through the tempest. With every step, the storm seemed to weaken, until finally, she reached the peak. At the top of Mount Lumina, Alina placed the crystal on an ancient pedestal. The crystal's light grew brighter and brighter, piercing through the clouds and casting a radiant glow across the land. The storm dissipated, and the darkness retreated, replaced by a warm, golden light that brought life and prosperity back to the kingdom. Celine appeared once more, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You have done it, Alina. Your bravery and selflessness have saved us all. The heart of the lake will continue to shine, protecting our land for generations to come." Alina returned to Crystalbrook as a hero. The villagers celebrated her courage and kindness, and the story of her journey spread throughout the kingdom. The heart of the lake continued to glow, a symbol of hope and unity. And so, Alina lived a life full of joy and adventure, always remembered as the girl who saved her kingdom with the power of her pure heart. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and enchanted forests, there was a bustling village named Fernwood. Fernwood was known for its vibrant gardens, warm-hearted people, and the mysterious moonlit grove at the edge of the village. The grove was said to be a place of magic and wonder, visited only when the moon was full. In Fernwood lived a kind-hearted girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her love of animals and her curiosity about the world. Every month, on the night of the full moon, she would visit the moonlit grove, hoping to uncover its secrets. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Ilara ventured into the grove, guided by its soft, silver light. As she wandered among the ancient trees, she noticed a faint, melodious tune coming from deep within the grove. Following the music, she discovered a hidden clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a beautiful, glowing pond. Around the pond danced tiny, ethereal fairies whose wings sparkled like diamonds. At the edge of the pond, on a grand stone pedestal, was a magnificent crystal known as the Moonstone. Its light was mesmerizing, casting gentle reflections across the water. As Ilara approached the Moonstone, a soft, musical voice spoke from the pond. "Welcome, Ilara. You have been chosen for a special task." Ilara looked around in awe. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" The voice responded, "I am the guardian of the Moonstone. The Moonstone holds the power to protect our world from encroaching darkness, but its magic has begun to fade. To restore its power, you must embark on a journey to find the lost fragments of the Moonstone scattered across the kingdom." Ilara felt a surge of excitement and determination. "I will find the fragments and restore the Moonstone's magic." The guardian nodded. "Your first fragment is hidden in the Whispering Caves, deep within the Frosted Mountains. Each fragment is guarded by a challenge that will test your heart and courage." With a newfound sense of purpose, Ilara set off on her quest. Her journey took her through the Frosted Mountains, where she braved icy winds and treacherous paths to reach the Whispering Caves. Inside the caves, she encountered a labyrinth of shimmering ice formations. At the heart of the labyrinth, Ilara found the first fragment of the Moonstone, encased in a block of ice. To retrieve it, she had to solve a riddle spoken by a magical ice spirit. "I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I do not have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and answered, "A fire." The ice spirit granted her passage, and Elara retrieved the fragment. She continued her journey, guided by the light of the moonstone. The second fragment was hidden in the enchanted forest, guarded by a wise old tree. The tree posed a challenge that required Elara to demonstrate her kindness. A small, injured squirrel needed help, and Elara carefully tended to its wounds and provided it with food. The grateful squirrel led her to the second fragment, hidden beneath its nest. Elara's final challenge took her to the desert of shifting sands. The last fragment was buried in the vast desert, and she had to navigate the ever-changing dunes to find it. Along the way, she encountered a weary traveler in need of assistance. Elara shared her provisions and guided the traveler to safety, earning the traveler's gratitude and the final fragment. With all three fragments in hand, Elara returned to the moonlit grove. The fairies greeted her with joy, and she placed the fragments around the moonstone. As the fragments were set in place, the moonstone's light grew brighter and more vibrant, filling the grove with a warm, protective glow. The guardian of the moonstone appeared and thanked Elara. "You have restored the moonstone's power and saved our world from darkness. Your bravery and kindness have proven your worth." Elara smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The moonstone's magic continued to shine brightly, protecting Fernwood and its surrounding lands. Elara returned to her village as a hero, and her tale of adventure and bravery became a cherished story in Fernwood. The moonlit grove remained a place of wonder and magic, and Elara's kindness and courage continued to inspire all who heard her story. And so, the kingdom flourished under the protection of the moonstone, and Elara's heart remained full of adventure and joy. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between lush green hills and the shimmering blue lake, lived two siblings, Elara and Thorn. Elara was a kind-hearted girl with a curiosity that matched her bright blue eyes, while Thorn, her younger brother, was brave and adventurous, always eager to explore the unknown. Their village was surrounded by a dense forest known as the Enchanted Grove. Legends spoke of magical creatures and hidden treasures within the grove, but it was also said to be protected by an ancient enchantment that only the pure of heart could pass through. One sunny morning, Elara and Thorn set off on a new adventure. They had heard whispers of a hidden glade within the Enchanted Grove where the fabled Tree of Wishes grew. The tree, according to the legend, could grant one true wish to those who found it. With their hearts full of hope, they ventured into the grove, guided by a mysterious map they found in their grandmother's attic. As they walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. The air was filled with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of rustling leaves. Suddenly, a mischievous pixie named Lumina appeared before them, her wings shimmering like sunlight on water. "Where are you two headed?" Lumina asked with a twinkle in her eye. "We're looking for the Tree of Wishes," Elara replied. Lumina fluttered around them, her laughter like the tinkling of tiny bells. "Many have sought the tree, but few have found it. The path is perilous and full of challenges. But I see something special in both of you. I will guide you, but you must prove your worth along the way." The siblings agreed, and Lumina led them to their first challenge, a bridge guarded by a fierce troll named Grumble. The troll demanded a riddle be solved before they could pass. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Grumble growled. Elara thought for a moment and then answered, "An echo." Grumble grunted, but a smile tugged at his lips. "Correct. You may pass." The trio continued their journey until they reached a wide river with no bridge or boat in sight. Lumina pointed to a family of beavers nearby. "Perhaps they can help." Thorn approached the beavers and asked for their assistance. The beavers agreed to build a bridge if the siblings could help them find food. Elara and Thorn worked together, gathering berries and nuts, and soon the beavers constructed a sturdy bridge. As they crossed the river, Lumina warned them of their final challenge, a maze of thorns that could only be navigated by those with pure intentions. Holding hands, Elara and Thorn entered the maze, their hearts united in their quest. They walked with determination, helping each other through the twists and turns. At the maze's end, they found themselves in a serene glade bathed in golden light. In the center stood the majestic tree of wishes, its branches heavy with sparkling fruit. A gentle voice spoke from the tree, "You have shown bravery, kindness, and purity of heart. You may each make a wish." Elara wished for the prosperity and happiness of their village, while Thorn wished for their parents' good health and long life. The tree shimmered, and the wishes were granted. As a token of gratitude, the tree gave them each a golden leaf, promising that they would always find their way back to the glade when needed. With Lumina's help, Elara and Thorn returned home, their hearts light and their spirits high. They shared their tale, and the village flourished with newfound hope and joy. And so, the siblings' adventure became a cherished legend, reminding everyone that with courage, kindness, and a pure heart, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom known as Eldoria, there was a small village called Bramblewood. This village was nestled by the edge of a vast, enchanted forest and bordered a serene, shimmering lake known as Silver Lake. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, fishing in the lake and gathering herbs from the forest. However, one fateful year, a terrible drought struck Eldoria, drying up Silver Lake and withering the crops. The village fell into despair, unsure of how they would survive. In this village lived a young girl named Arya, who was known for her love of adventure and her compassionate heart. Arya couldn't bear to see her friends and family suffer, and she decided to seek out a solution. She remembered her grandmother's stories about the phoenix feather, a magical feather from a legendary phoenix that had the power to bring rain and restore life to the land. Determined to find the phoenix feather, Arya set off on a journey into the enchanted forest. She knew it would be a perilous quest, filled with unknown dangers, but her resolve was unwavering. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the light dimmer. Strange, magical creatures watched her from the shadows, but Arya pressed on. After several days of traveling, Arya came upon an old, twisted tree with a door carved into its trunk. Curious, she knocked, and the door creaked open to reveal a small, cozy room. Inside sat an elderly woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. "Welcome, dear child," the woman said. "I am Elowen, the guardian of the forest. What brings you to my humble abode?" Arya explained her quest for the phoenix feather, and Elowen listened intently. "The phoenix resides in the crystal caves, deep within the heart of the forest," Elowen said. "But the path is fraught with challenges. You must prove your worth and your intentions." Elowen gave Arya a small, silver lantern and a map. "This lantern will guide you through the darkness, and the map will show you the way. But remember, only a pure heart can summon the phoenix." With gratitude, Arya thanked Elowen and continued her journey. The forest grew denser, and the air became thick with enchantment. Following the map, she navigated through treacherous terrain and crossed enchanted rivers. Along the way, she encountered a mischievous sprite named Nixie, who tried to lead her astray. But Arya's kindness and determination won Nixie over, and he decided to help her instead. Together, they reached the entrance of the crystal caves. The cave sparkled with a myriad of colors, and the air was filled with an otherworldly hum. As they ventured deeper, they came to a vast chamber where the legendary phoenix rested on a pedestal of crystal. The phoenix was a magnificent bird with feathers of vibrant red and gold, and eyes that shone like the sun. As Arya approached, the phoenix regarded her with curiosity and wisdom. "Why do you seek my feather, young one?" the phoenix asked, its voice resonating like a melodious song. Arya explained the plight of her village and the drought that had stricken their land. She spoke of her love for her home and her desire to save her people. The phoenix listened, its gaze never leaving her face. "You have shown great courage and compassion," the phoenix said. "I will grant you my feather, but remember, its power must be used with a pure heart and good intentions." With that, the phoenix plucked a single feather from its radiant plumage and handed it to Arya. The feather glowed with a magical light, and Arya felt a warmth spread through her as she held it. thanking the Phoenix, Arya, and Nixie made their way back to Bramblewood. When they arrived, the villagers were overjoyed to see Arya safe and sound. She went to the center of the village, holding the phoenix feather high. With a heart full of hope and love, she spoke the words of the ancient incantation Alolan had taught her. The feather shimmered and burst into flames, but instead of burning, the flames turned into clouds. These clouds rose into the sky, darkening and swelling until they covered the entire village. Moments later, rain began to fall, gentle at first, then stronger, until Silver Lake was filled once more, and the fields were drenched and revived. The villagers danced and celebrated in the rain, their spirits lifted and their hope restored. Arya's bravery and selflessness had saved them, and they hailed her as a hero. The phoenix feather's magic had not only brought back the rain but also taught the villagers the power of hope, courage, and the strength found in unity. Arya's legend spread far and wide, inspiring others to act with bravery and kindness. Silver Lake sparkled once more, and Bramblewood flourished, becoming a beacon of hope in Eldoria. And so, the village thrived, its people living in harmony with nature, always remembering the young girl who brought the rain and saved them all. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the sun always seemed to shine and the rivers sparkled like diamonds, there was a small village named Eldoria. Nestled at the edge of a vast and mysterious forest, the villagers spoke often of the Forest of Whispering Leaves. It was said that the forest held many secrets, and the trees could speak in hushed tones, sharing ancient wisdom with those who listened. In Eldoria lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. She had always been drawn to the forest, her curiosity piqued by the tales of magic and mystery. One day, as she was walking by the edge of the forest, she heard a faint whispering among the trees. The whispers seemed to call her name, and she could not resist the urge to step into the forest to uncover its secrets. As Elara entered the Forest of Whispering Leaves, she marveled at the tall, majestic trees with their silver leaves that shimmered in the dappled sunlight. The forest seemed alive with enchantment, and the leaves rustled softly as if sharing stories from long ago. The deeper Elara ventured, the more she felt as if the forest was guiding her. Suddenly, she came upon a clearing where an ancient oak tree stood. Its trunk was wide and gnarled, and its branches were adorned with glowing, golden leaves. At the base of the tree, a small, delicate door was nestled between the roots. The door was carved with intricate patterns, and a gentle glow emanated from it. Elara hesitated for a moment but then mustered the courage to open the door. Inside, she found a cozy chamber with walls lined with shelves full of shimmering bottles and scrolls. In the center of the room sat a wise old owl with feathers that sparkled like stardust. The owl's eyes were deep and knowing, and he introduced himself as Oswin, the guardian of the forest. Oswin explained that the forest was in danger. A powerful sorceress named Morgana had cast a spell to drain the forest of its magic, turning its vibrant life into a shadow of its former self. The forest needed someone pure of heart and brave of spirit to restore its magic by finding and reawakening 3 ancient artifacts hidden within the forest. Elara agreed to help Oswin, and he provided her with a magical map that would guide her on her quest. The map was adorned with glowing symbols that would reveal the path to each artifact. The first artifact, the Heartstone, was hidden in the Caves of Echoes. These caves were known for their haunting whispers and tricky illusions. Elara bravely entered the dark caves, relying on her intuition to navigate the twisting passages. She followed the sound of a faint, melodic tune and found the Heartstone nestled in a hidden chamber. The stone pulsed with a warm, soothing light, and Elara felt its magic begin to flow through her. The second artifact, the Moonlit Pendant, was located atop the Tower of Stars, which was guarded by a series of challenging puzzles. Elara climbed the tower, solving each puzzle with cleverness and patience. At the top, she found the Moonlit Pendant, a beautiful necklace that glowed with the soft light of the moon. Its light filled the tower with a calming glow, and Elara knew it was a powerful artifact. The final artifact, the Ember Flame, was hidden in the Enchanted Grove, a place where time seemed to stand still. The grove was filled with dancing fireflies and shimmering fire blossoms. Elara searched for the Ember Flame, which was said to be hidden within the heart of the grove. She followed a trail of glowing flowers and found the ember flame, a fiery gem that radiated warmth and strength. With all three artifacts in hand, Elara returned to the ancient oak tree and placed the heartstone, moonlit pendant, and ember flame in their designated spots around the tree. As she did, a brilliant light burst forth, and the forest began to glow with renewed magic. The tree's leaves shimmered, the river sparkled, and the forest was alive once more. Morgana, the sorceress, appeared, her dark magic fading as the forest's enchantment returned. Elara's bravery and pure heart had undone the sorceress's spell, and Morgana was banished from the forest forever. Oswin thanked Elara and gifted her a small, silver leaf as a token of gratitude. "This leaf will always remind you of the magic within the Forest of Whispering Leaves," he said. "And should you ever need guidance, the forest will be here for you." Elara returned to Eldoria, her heart filled with joy and her spirit enriched by the adventure. She shared her story with the villagers, and the tale of the Forest of Whispering Leaves became a cherished legend in Eldoria. The forest continued to thrive, its whispers a gentle reminder of the bravery and kindness that had restored its magic. And so, Elara's legacy lived on, inspiring others to seek out the magic in their own hearts and to cherish the wonder of the world around them. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her vivid imagination and her talent for painting. Her parents ran a small art supply shop, and Elara spent her days creating beautiful artworks inspired by the world around her. One day, while exploring the attic of their old house, Elara stumbled upon a dusty, ornate frame. Inside it was a blank canvas that seemed to shimmer in the light. Intrigued, Elara decided to take the frame down to her studio and paint something on it. As she began to paint, she felt an unusual sense of excitement. She painted a vibrant, magical forest with towering trees, sparkling streams, and colorful flowers. As she added the final touch, a magnificent golden phoenix, the canvas glowed brightly. Suddenly, the painting came to life, and Elara found herself standing in the very forest she had just painted. Elara was amazed by the beauty of the enchanted forest. She wandered through the trees, marveling at the crystal-clear streams and the melodious songs of the birds. As she explored, she met a talking squirrel named Pip. Pip explained that she had entered the enchanted forest, a magical place that existed in the world of her imagination. However, Pip also warned her of a great danger. The enchanted forest was under threat from a dark sorcerer named Malakar, who sought to drain the forest's magic to increase his own power. The only way to save the forest was to find the Crystal of Light, hidden deep within the Cave of Echoes. Determined to save the beautiful world she had created, Elara agreed to embark on the quest to find the Crystal of Light. Pip offered to be her guide, and together they set off on their adventure. Their journey was filled with challenges and obstacles. They had to cross the Bridge of Illusions, which played tricks on their eyes and made it difficult to find the correct path. Elara used her creativity to visualize the true bridge and guide them safely across. Next, they encountered the Garden of Whispers, where enchanted flowers whispered distracting and confusing thoughts. Elara focused on the soothing sound of a babbling brook, helping her stay calm and lead Pip through the garden without losing their way. Finally, they reached the entrance to the Cave of Echoes. The cave was dark and foreboding, with eerie echoes that seemed to come from all directions. Pip cautioned Elara that the echoes could lead them astray, but Elara had an idea. She began to sing a simple, cheerful tune. Her song echoed through the cave, creating a melody that they could follow. As they ventured deeper into the cave, they encountered Malakar. The dark sorcerer was a tall, shadowy figure with eyes that glowed with malice. He tried to stop them by casting dark spells, but Elara's song seemed to weaken his magic. With Pip's encouragement, Elara continued to sing, her voice growing stronger and more confident. Eventually, they reached a hidden chamber deep within the cave. In the center of the chamber was the Crystal of Light, glowing with a brilliant, pure light. Malakar tried to seize it, but Elara's song reached its crescendo, and the crystal's light intensified. The light overwhelmed Malakar, banishing him from the enchanted forest forever. With the crystal of light in her hands, Elara felt a surge of energy and creativity. She and Pip made their way back to the forest, where she placed the crystal on a pedestal at the heart of the enchanted forest. The forest came alive with vibrant colors and renewed magic. The trees grew taller, the flowers bloomed brighter, and the stream sparkled like diamonds. Elara bid farewell to Pip and the magical creatures of the enchanted forest, knowing that she could return whenever she wished through her enchanted painting. She stepped back through the frame and found herself in her studio once more. From that day on, Elara's paintings were more vibrant and alive than ever before. She shared the story of her adventure with the villagers, inspiring them with her courage and creativity. The enchanted painting became a treasured family heirloom, passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of imagination and the magic that lies within each of us. And so, Elara's legacy lived on, as her paintings continued to bring joy and wonder to all who beheld them. The enchanted forest flourished, protected by the light of creativity and the heart of a brave young girl who believed in the magic of her own imagination. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a beautiful forest known as the Enchanted Forest. The trees there whispered secrets, and the flowers sang lullabies. The forest was protected by magical creatures who lived in harmony, ensuring no harm would come to their beloved home. In the heart of this kingdom stood a grand castle, where King Edmund and Queen Isabella ruled with kindness and wisdom. They had a daughter named Princess Lily, who was as curious as she was brave. Princess Lily loved to explore the enchanted forest, always accompanied by her loyal dog, Max. One day, while wandering deeper into the forest than ever before, Princess Lily and Max came across a shimmering pond. The water sparkled under the sunlight, and in the middle of the pond was a small island with a beautiful, glowing flower. Drawn to its beauty, Princess Lily decided to take a closer look. Just as she stepped onto the island, a sudden mist enveloped the area. When the mist cleared, Princess Lily found herself in a strange, unfamiliar part of the forest. She was lost. Max barked worriedly, and Princess Lily tried to calm him, though she herself felt a bit scared. As they wandered, trying to find their way back, they met a wise old owl named Oliver. "Who are you, young one?" asked Oliver. "I am Princess Lily," she replied. "I seem to be lost. Can you help me find my way back home?" Oliver's eyes twinkled kindly. "The forest has many paths, but not all lead where you wish to go. To find your way, you must seek the help of 3 guardians: the spirit of the trees, the guardian of the river, and the keeper of the stars." Princess Lily thanked Oliver and set off with Max to find the first guardian. They soon came to a grove of ancient trees. As they walked among them, the trees seemed to bend and move, guiding her. From behind the largest tree, a gentle voice spoke. "I am Silva, the spirit of the trees. Why do you seek me, Princess?" Princess Lily explained her plight, and Silva smiled warmly. "To help you, I will give you a leaf that always points north. It will guide you through the forest. But remember, it can only show you the way, you must find your courage to follow it." With the magical leaf in hand, Princess Lily and Max continued their journey. They followed the leaf's direction until they reached a wide, flowing river. The water was clear and blue, and on its surface, tiny fish danced in the sunlight. By the riverbank, a graceful deer emerged from the trees. "I am Rill, the guardian of the river. How can I assist you, Princess?" Again, Princess Lily shared her story. Rill dipped her head and said, "I will grant you a vial of enchanted water. It will give you strength and clarity when you need it most. But remember, true strength comes from within." Grateful for Rill's gift, Princess Lily and Max crossed the river and continued their quest. As night fell, the forest began to glow with the light of countless fireflies. They soon found themselves in a meadow under a sky filled with stars. In the center of the meadow stood a unicorn with a shimmering mane. "I am Astra, the keeper of the stars. Why have you come to me, Princess?" Princess Lily told Astra of her journey and her wish to find her way back home. Astra's horn glowed brightly as she said, I will give you a star to light your path. It will shine the brightest when you are near your goal. But remember, the light within you is what will truly guide you." With the star illuminating their way, Princess Lily and Max felt more hopeful. They continued through the forest, following the leaf's direction, drinking the enchanted water when they grew tired, and trusting the star's light. Finally, they emerged from the forest and saw the familiar towers of the castle in the distance. Overjoyed, Princess Lily and Max ran towards home. The king and queen, who had been worried sick, were overjoyed to see their daughter safe and sound. Princess Lily shared her adventure with her parents, telling them of the wise owl, the spirit of the trees, the guardian of the river, and the keeper of the stars. The king and queen praised her bravery and kindness, and the whole kingdom celebrated her return. From that day on, Princess Lily never forgot the lessons she learned in the enchanted forest. She became a wise and compassionate ruler, always guided by the courage and light within her. And so, the kingdom prospered, and the enchanted forest remained a place of magic and wonder for all to cherish. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between misty mountains and rolling hills, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was famed for its long, graceful branches that seemed to whisper secrets to the wind. The villagers believed that the Whispering Willow held magical powers and that it could grant a single wish to someone pure of heart. The guardian of the village was a kind-hearted boy named Finn, who was known for his compassion and bravery. Finn had always been fascinated by the tales of the Whispering Willow and often wondered if the legends were true. One summer day, as the village faced a severe drought, Finn decided it was time to seek the willow's help. With a determined heart, Finn set off towards the Whispering Willow, which stood on a hill just outside the village. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the landscape, and the air was filled with a gentle, soothing breeze. As Finn approached the tree, he could hear the soft rustling of its leaves. Like a distant lullaby. The Whispering Willow was even more magnificent up close, its branches hanging low and its leaves shimmering in the twilight. Finn took a deep breath and spoke aloud, "O Whispering Willow, I have come to seek your wisdom and aid. Our village is suffering from a terrible drought, and we need your help." As Finn spoke, the tree's leaves rustled more vigorously, and a soft, melodious voice filled the air. "Brave Finn, you have come seeking a wish. To earn my favor, you must first prove your worth by solving 3 riddles. Only then will I grant your wish." Finn nodded, ready to take on the challenge. The first riddle came from the tree's branches, whispered softly into the evening air, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Finn thought carefully and answered, "An echo." The Whispering Willow's branches swayed gently, and the leaves glowed with approval. "Well done. Here is your first token." A small, glowing acorn fell from the tree and landed softly in Finn's hand. The second riddle was whispered with a gentle rustle, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Finn smiled and answered, "A joke." Another glowing acorn fell from the tree, and Finn held it tightly. The tree then presented the final riddle, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Finn pondered and then replied, "A fire." The Whispering Willow's branches trembled with joy, and the final acorn fell into Finn's hand. "You have answered all 3 riddles correctly. Now, hold these tokens close and make your wish." Finn clasped the 3 glowing acorns tightly and closed his eyes. He wished for rain to restore the land and bring prosperity back to his village. As he made his wish, the acorns glowed brightly, and the Whispering Willow's leaves shimmered with an enchanting light. Suddenly, dark clouds began to gather overhead, and the first drops of rain fell gently to the ground. The rain grew heavier, soaking the parched earth and filling the village's wells. The drought was ending, and the land began to flourish once more. Finn returned to the village, greeted by cheers and celebration. The villagers rejoiced as their fields turned green and their crops began to grow. They marveled at the miracle of the rain and the magic that had saved them. Finn shared his adventure in the tale of the Whispering Willow with the villagers. From then on, the Whispering Willow was celebrated not just as a symbol of magic, but as a reminder of the bravery and kindness that had saved their home. And so, the village thrived under the nourishing rain, and the Whispering Willow continued to stand tall on the hill, its branches whispering secrets and granting wishes to those who sought its wisdom with a pure heart. The end.
In the serene village of Luminara, nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there was a magical lake known as Starry Lake. Each night, the lake would shimmer with 1,000 points of light, reflecting the stars above. The villagers spoke of an ancient legend that a rare moonstone, hidden deep beneath the lake, had the power to grant a single, heartfelt wish to those who found it. Arya, a brave and kind-hearted young woman, had always been fascinated by this legend. Her village was facing a severe drought, and she hoped the moonstone could bring rain and restore their lands. As the full moon rose high in the sky, bathing everything in a soft, silvery light, Arya decided to embark on a quest to find the moonstone. Arya set out with a lantern, a map of the village, and a small satchel of supplies. She walked through the forest, the moonlight guiding her way. The trees whispered ancient secrets, and the path was lined with glowing mushrooms. Along the way, Arya encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "Hoot, you seek the moonstone, I see," the owl said. "To reach it, you must first find the 3 enchanted keys scattered across the forest. They will unlock the path to the moonstone." Arya thanked the owl and continued her journey. The forest was alive with magical creatures and mystical sights. She knew her quest was just beginning. Key 1. The Key of Courage The first key was hidden in a cave guarded by a fearsome dragon. The cave's entrance was shrouded in mist, and the dragon's fiery breath lit up the darkness within. Arya approached the cave with a steady heart. She noticed a small, clever mechanism on the cave's entrance that would distract the dragon. Using a well-aimed stone and a bit of bravery, she created a diversion. While the dragon was distracted, she swiftly retrieved the Key of Courage from within the cave. The dragon, recognizing Arya's bravery, allowed her to leave in peace. Key 2. The Key of Wisdom The second key lay in the heart of an ancient, magical library guarded by a talking tree. The library was filled with scrolls and books that glowed with a faint light. The tree, with branches like outstretched arms, presented Arya with a riddle. "Forward I am heavy, but backward I am not. What am I?" Arya thought deeply, recalling tales from her childhood. With a smile, she answered, "The answer is Tun." The tree's branches swayed in approval, and the Key of Wisdom appeared from among the scrolls. Key 3. The Key of Kindness The final key was located in a meadow where various magical creatures were in distress. A wicked enchantment had caused the creatures to argue and fight. Arya, with her gentle nature and compassion, calmed the creatures and helped them resolve their conflicts. In gratitude, the creatures revealed the Key of Kindness hidden beneath a large, blooming flower. Arya took the key, knowing that her kindness had restored peace to the meadow. With all 3 keys in hand, Arya made her way back to Starry Lake. The lake's surface sparkled with moonlight, and a mysterious, magical door beneath the water awaited her. The door was adorned with intricate designs and 3 keyholes. Arya inserted the keys into their respective slots. As each key turned, the door glowed brighter, and a soft, melodious chime echoed through the lake. With a final click, the door opened to reveal a hidden underwater passageway. Arya followed the passageway to a grand underwater chamber. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with the moonstone resting atop it. The stone was radiant, its light pulsating with a soft, calming glow. As Arya approached, a gentle voice filled the chamber. "You have proven your courage, wisdom, and kindness. The moonstone is now yours to use. Make your wish with a pure heart." Arya closed her eyes and made her wish, for rain to fall upon her village, to restore the land and provide for her people. The moonstone's light intensified, and a warm, gentle rain began to fall from above. Returning to her village, Arya was greeted by the sight of the rain nourishing the parched land. The fields began to green, and the rivers flowed once more. The villagers rejoiced, grateful for the miracle that had saved their home. Arya's bravery, wisdom, and kindness were celebrated throughout the kingdom. The legend of the Moonstone and the hero who found it became a cherished tale in Luminara. The Moonstone was placed in a special shrine by the lake, where its light continued to shine as a beacon of hope and magic. The tale of Arya's quest inspired generations to come, reminding them that true magic lies in the qualities of the heart. And so, the story of the Starry Lake and the Moonstone quest became a timeless legend, a symbol of the power of courage, wisdom, and kindness.
Once upon a time, high above the clouds in a hidden kingdom, there lived a princess named Elara. She was not like any ordinary princess, for Elara had wings as white as the clouds themselves, allowing her to soar above her kingdom. The kingdom was called Etheria, and it floated in the sky, tethered to the earth by ancient, unseen threads of magic. Princess Elara loved her kingdom dearly. She would spend hours each day flying over the fields of golden light and sparkling rivers of the sky. The people of Etheria admired their kind and free-spirited princess, but none loved her more than her father, King Orion. He was a wise ruler, but there was one thing that worried him. Elara had never seen the world below the clouds, the world of the earth. The world below is dangerous, he often warned. It is full of shadows and storms. You must promise me, Elara, that you will never fly down to the earth. Elara promised, but deep down, curiosity tugged at her heart. What could be so different about the world below? Why did the clouds shield them from the earth's surface? One evening, while flying near the edge of the kingdom, Elara spotted something strange, a golden feather drifting up from the clouds. It sparkled in the light of the setting sun, and she knew it was not from any creature of Etheria. Her heart raced. The feather seemed to carry with it a mystery, a secret calling her to follow. Without a second thought, Elara dived through the clouds, chasing the golden feather as it twirled and danced on the breeze. Down, down she flew, breaking through the thick layer of clouds for the first time in her life. The world below was vast and green, with forests that stretched as far as the eye could see and oceans that shimmered like sapphire. But the feather did not land in the peaceful fields or sparkling waters. It drifted towards a dark, twisted forest known as the Shadowwood, a place of legend and fear. As soon as Elara touched the ground at the edge of the forest, the feather vanished into the shadows. Elara knew she should turn back. She had promised her father never to descend to earth, and this forest was surely full of dangers. But her curiosity overpowered her caution. With wings tucked close to her back, she stepped into the forest. The trees of the Shadowwood were tall and gnarled, their branches like claws reaching for the sky. Strange whispers filled the air, but Elara pressed on, guided by an invisible force. Deeper into the forest she went, until she came upon a small clearing where a glowing, ancient tree stood. Its bark was silver, and at its base sat a woman draped in shimmering robes of gold. The woman looked up at Elara and smiled. "I've been waiting for you, Princess Elara." Elara blinked in surprise. "How do you know who I am?" "I know all who fly through the skies," said the woman. "I am Oriel, guardian of the winds. It was I who sent the golden feather to guide you here." "Why?" asked Elara, her wings twitching nervously. "My father warned me never to come to earth." Oriel's smile faded slightly, and her eyes grew thoughtful. "Your father is wise, but he has forgotten something important. Long ago, the people of Etheria and the earth lived in harmony, but that connection has been lost over time. The golden feather is a symbol of the bond between our worlds. It has been broken for too long." Elara listened closely, her heart stirring with the weight of Oriel's words. "The earth has grown dark in places," Oriel continued, "but it can be healed. You, Elara, have the heart of both the sky and the earth. You can help restore the balance." "But what can I do?" Elara asked, feeling small in the presence of the guardian. "Take this," said Oriel, and she handed Alara a small, golden seed. "Plant this in the darkest part of the forest. It is a seed of light, and where it grows, the shadows will fade. Only you can plant it, for your heart carries the magic of the skies." Alara took the seed carefully, feeling its warmth in her hand. She knew this was why she had been drawn to the earth. Oriel pointed to the heart of the forest, where the trees grew thickest and no light could reach. "Go there, Alara, and be brave." With a deep breath, Alara thanked the guardian and ventured into the darkest part of the Shadowwood. The shadows whispered to her, trying to frighten her, but she held the golden seed close and continued forward. After what felt like an eternity, she reached a clearing so dark that even her wings felt heavy with the weight of it. "This is the place," she whispered to herself. With trembling hands, Alara knelt and dug a small hole in the cold earth. She placed the golden seed into the ground and covered it with soil. For a moment, nothing happened, and Alara feared the shadows had won. But then, a faint light began to shine from the ground. It grew brighter and brighter until a single golden sprout broke through the soil. The shadows hissed and shrank away, and the trees that had loomed so menacingly began to turn green and full of life. The light spread, chasing the darkness from the entire forest. Alara stood back, her heart swelling with joy. The forest was no longer a place of shadows, it was full of light, life, and beauty. As she flew back to Etheria, Alara carried with her the memory of the golden seed and the lesson she had learned. The earth and sky were meant to be connected, and it was her duty to help heal both. When she returned home, her father, King Orion, looked at her with worry, but Alara smiled and told him the story of her journey. And though he had feared the world below, he knew in his heart that Alara had done something extraordinary. From that day forward, Princess Alara was known as the Sky Princess who brought light to the earth, and the golden feather became a symbol of hope and unity between the sky and the world below. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the skies were always bright and the trees always green, there was a hidden forest known as the Forest of the Forgotten. This magical forest was filled with trees that held the memories of those who had wandered through its woods long ago. The forest was said to be enchanted, and its magic was both wondrous and mysterious. In a cozy cottage at the edge of the village of Larkspur, lived a young girl named Alara. Alara was known throughout the village for her curiosity and kindness. Her parents had passed away when she was very young, and she lived with her wise grandmother, who often told her stories about the magical forest of the Forgotten. One evening, Alara's grandmother told her about a special tree in the forest, the Tree of Wishes. This ancient tree was said to grant one true wish to someone who had a pure heart and selfless intentions. The tree's magic could only be unlocked by someone who truly needed help, and Alara decided she wanted to find it. Early one morning, with a basket of supplies and a heart full of hope, Alara set off on her adventure into the Forest of the Forgotten. The forest was filled with a symphony of sounds, birds chirping, leaves rustling, and the gentle murmur of a hidden brook. The deeper Alara ventured, the more the forest seemed alive with secrets. As Alara walked, she noticed the trees seemed to watch her with their wise, old eyes. She felt a bit nervous but pressed on, remembering her grandmother's stories. After a few hours of wandering, Alara came upon a small clearing with a shimmering stream flowing through it. At the center of the clearing was a beautiful, golden tree with leaves that glowed softly. Alara approached the tree with awe and gently touched its bark. "I've come seeking the Tree of Wishes," she said softly. "I need help for my village, which has been suffering from a terrible drought. If you can help us, would be forever grateful." The Tree of Wishes responded with a warm, golden light. Its leaves rustled as if whispering secrets, and a gentle breeze carried the sound of a soothing voice. "Your heart is pure, Alara," the tree spoke. "The village has suffered, and your kindness and courage have brought you here. I will grant your wish, but first, you must complete a task." Alara listened intently as the Tree of Wishes explained the task. She had to retrieve a magical crystal hidden deep within the forest, guarded by a fierce dragon. This crystal had the power to summon rain and end the drought. Though frightened, Elara was determined to help her village. With the tree's guidance, Elara ventured further into the forest, following a path marked by glowing mushrooms. She reached a dark cave where the dragon was said to live. Gathering her courage, she entered the cave and found the dragon, an enormous, shimmering creature with scales like jewels. The dragon looked at Elara with curious eyes. "Why have you come here, little one?" it rumbled. "I need the crystal to help my village," Elara said bravely. "We're suffering from a drought, and I must bring it back to save them." The dragon studied her carefully and then nodded. "Many have come seeking the crystal, but you are the first to show such bravery and kindness. The crystal is yours, but remember, it is a powerful gift. Use it wisely." With a respectful bow, Elara took the crystal and thanked the dragon. She made her way back to the Tree of Wishes, where the tree used its magic to combine the crystal's power with its own. A gentle rain began to fall, soaking the thirsty ground and bringing relief to the land. Elara returned to her village, where everyone rejoiced at the sight of the rain. The crops began to grow, and the village flourished once more. Elara was celebrated as a hero, but she humbly shared that the true magic had come from the heart of the forest and the kindness she had shown. The villagers, inspired by Elara's bravery and the magic of the forest, learned to care for one another and cherish the gifts of the land. The Forest of the Forgotten remained a place of wonder, where the memories of those who showed kindness lived on forever. And so, Elara's tale was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, a pure heart and a selfless wish can bring about the most magical changes. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a great forest, there was a little girl named Eliza who loved to stargaze. Every night, she would sit on the hill behind her house, looking up at the twinkling stars and dreaming of adventures beyond the village. One crisp autumn evening, as Eliza was settling in for her nightly stargazing, she noticed a soft, glowing light moving through the forest. Intrigued, she decided to follow the light to see where it led. She grabbed a warm coat and a lantern for safety and ventured into the forest. The light led her to a beautiful clearing where an enormous, ancient oak tree stood. At the base of the tree was a small, ornate lantern glowing with a silvery light. Eliza approached the lantern and, as she picked it up, a voice spoke from the tree. "Greetings, Eliza." "I am the spirit of the oak," the voice said. "This lantern holds the power to grant one special wish, but it must be used wisely. The magic of the lantern can bring joy and light, but it also has the ability to reveal hidden truths." Eliza was amazed but curious. "What should I wish for?" she asked the spirit of the oak. The spirit replied, "Think deeply about what truly matters to you, and your wish will reveal itself." Eliza thought about her village and her dreams of adventure. She wished to explore beyond the forest and see the wonders of the world. She made her wish with all her heart, and the lantern's light grew even brighter. In an instant, Eliza found herself standing at the edge of a magical land she had only ever dreamed of. The land was a breathtaking place filled with floating islands, shimmering rivers, and majestic creatures. A friendly dragon named Thorn flew down to greet her. Thorn was covered in iridescent scales and had wings that sparkled like diamonds. "Welcome to the land of moonlight," Thorn said. "I am the guardian of this realm. You are here because your wish has opened the gateway to our world. Let me show you the wonders that await." Thorn led Eliza on a grand tour of the magical land. They visited the Rainbow Falls, where the water cascaded in every color of the spectrum. They soared through the starry skies, where constellations danced and formed shapes that told ancient stories. They even explored the enchanted gardens, where flowers sang and trees told tales of old. During their journey, Eliza met many magical beings, talking animals, kind-hearted fairies, and wise old wizards. Each one shared their stories and knowledge with her, and Eliza learned about the balance and harmony that kept the land of moonlight in its enchanting state. However, as the night began to deepen, Eliza felt a pang of homesickness. She missed her village, her family, and her simple life. She realized that while the magical land was incredible, her heart yearned for home. She returned to the spirit of the oak with a heavy heart and spoke honestly about her feelings. The spirit listened and smiled warmly. "You have experienced the wonders of our world and learned valuable lessons. Now, it's time for you to return home with a heart full of memories and wisdom." With a wave of the spirit's hand, the lantern's light enveloped Eliza, and she was gently transported back to the clearing in the forest. The lantern had dimmed, its magic fulfilled. Eliza hugged it tightly and thanked the spirit of the oak for the extraordinary adventure. As she walked back to her village, Eliza felt a newfound appreciation for her home and the people she loved. She knew that while the world was full of wonders, the greatest joy came from the simple, everyday moments with those she cherished. Eliza's tale of the land of moonlight became a beloved story in the village. The villagers would gather around her, eager to hear about the magical adventures and the lessons she learned. And every autumn, Eliza would return to the ancient oak tree to visit the lantern, remembering the magic it had brought into her life and the wisdom it had given her. And so, Eliza lived happily ever after, carrying the light of her adventure in her heart and sharing its magic with everyone she met. In a quaint village nestled between lush hills and shimmering streams, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Elara. She was known for her curious spirit and unyielding kindness. One crisp autumn morning, as she walked through the forest gathering wildflowers, she stumbled upon a hidden glen bathed in golden light. At the heart of the glen stood an old, gnarled oak tree with a peculiar lantern hanging from one of its branches. The lantern was covered in intricate vines and glowing softly with an otherworldly light. Elara's curiosity piqued, and she gently reached out to touch the lantern. The moment her fingers brushed against it, the light flared brightly, and a figure emerged, a graceful, ethereal woman in a flowing gown. "I am Seraphina, the guardian of the lantern," the figure introduced herself with a warm smile. "For centuries, this lantern has been a beacon of hope, guiding lost souls and granting wishes to those with pure hearts. You have freed me from my eternal slumber. In gratitude, I will grant you one wish." Elara was taken aback but quickly collected her thoughts. She had always dreamed of helping her village thrive, for many of its people were struggling through harsh winters and bountiful crops were scarce. "I wish for my village to prosper, for everyone to have enough food, warmth, and happiness." Seraphina's eyes sparkled with approval. "A selfless wish indeed. But remember, true prosperity comes not only from abundance but from unity and kindness." With a graceful gesture, Seraphina touched the lantern, and a warm breeze swept through the glen. The light from the lantern spread across the village, touching every home, every field, and every heart. When Elara returned to the village, she was amazed to see it transformed. The fields were lush with golden crops, the wells brimmed with crystal-clear water, and the once quiet homes were filled with laughter and joy. News of their newfound prosperity spread quickly, and the village began to flourish like never before. But the true magic wasn't just in the wealth that appeared, it was in the way the villagers had come together. They shared their blessings, helping each other with the harvests, supporting those in need, and celebrating their newfound unity. Months passed, and the village continued to thrive. Elara never forgot the glowing lantern and Seraphina's words. She became a beacon of kindness and wisdom herself, reminding everyone of the importance of generosity and cooperation. One day, as Elara walked through the forest, she returned to the hidden glen, hoping to express her gratitude to the guardian. However, the lantern and the magical glen had vanished, leaving behind only the whisper of the wind and the rustling of the leaves. But Elara knew that the true magic of the lantern was in the hearts of the villagers. The prosperity they enjoyed was a reflection of their unity and compassion. As the years went by, the village became a legend, a place where the story of the enchanted lantern inspired many to believe in the power of kindness and the magic of a selfless wish. And so, the tale of the enchanted lantern lived on, reminding all who heard it that sometimes the greatest magic of all comes not from the wonders we see, but from the goodness we share. In the heart of a quaint, timeless village surrounded by rolling hills and misty forests, there was a small, charming clock shop known as the Enchanted Timepiece. The shop was run by an elderly clockmaker named Master Horace, whose reputation for creating magnificent clocks was known far and wide. Each clock he crafted had a touch of magic, ensuring that time seemed to flow just a little more smoothly around them. Master Horus had an apprentice named Theo, a bright and eager young man with a deep fascination for clockwork and a boundless curiosity. Theo admired Master Horus immensely and spent his days learning the intricate art of clockmaking. He was especially drawn to an old, mysterious clock in the shop's backroom, covered in dust and forgotten for years. It was an elaborate grandfather clock with intricate carvings of stars and moons and a peculiar inscription on its face: "When the moon's light dances, a secret shall be unveiled." One evening, as the full moon cast its silvery glow over the village, Master Horus entrusted Theo with a special task. "Tonight is the night of the moon's dance," Master Horus said, his eyes twinkling with a hint of mischief. "I need you to prepare the shop for the festival, but remember, the grandfather clock in the back room is special. Its magic can only be awakened during the moon's dance. Pay attention to the moonlight." Theo eagerly agreed, and as the moonlight poured into the shop, he busied himself with preparations. When he finished, he couldn't resist the temptation to examine the old grandfather clock more closely. As the moonlight streamed through the shop's windows, it illuminated the clock's carvings in a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. Theo noticed something extraordinary. The moonlight seemed to weave patterns on the clock's surface, making the stars and moons appear to shimmer and shift. Curiosity piqued, Theo carefully adjusted the clock's hands to match the phases of the moon, as indicated on the inscription. As the moonlight reached its peak, the clock's face began to glow softly. Theo's heart raced with excitement as he heard a faint, melodious chime emanate from the clock. He watched in awe as the clock's hands moved on their own, aligning with the intricate carvings, and a hidden compartment slowly revealed itself. Inside the compartment was a delicate silver key and a scroll tied with a golden ribbon. Theo unrolled the scroll, which read, "To find the heart of the clock, seek the moon's reflection where shadows lie. The key shall guide you to where secrets hide." Following the scroll's instructions, Theo carried the silver key and ventured outside into the moonlit night. He walked to the edge of the village, where a small, ancient stone bridge spanned a gentle stream. The moon's reflection danced upon the water, casting delicate shadows on the bridge's surface. Theo noticed a peculiar pattern of shadows and reflections on the bridge that seemed to match the carvings on the grandfather clock. With a sense of wonder, he carefully placed the silver key into a hidden keyhole he discovered in the stone. As he turned the key, a hidden panel in the bridge opened, revealing a small, hidden chamber beneath. Inside the chamber was a beautifully crafted golden heart-shaped locket. Theo carefully lifted the locket and felt a surge of warmth and light. The locket contained a tiny, enchanted clock that seemed to beat with a gentle, rhythmic pulse. As Theo held the locket, he felt a deep sense of calm and understanding. The locket's magic was not only about time but also about the harmony between moments and memories. It was a reminder that time, though fleeting, could be cherished and savored. Theo returned to the shop with the locket and showed Master Horus. The old clockmaker's eyes widened with pride and joy. "You have unlocked the true magic of the grandfather clock," Master Horus said, his voice filled with emotion. "The locket represents the heart of time, a symbol of the beauty and harmony that time can bring to our lives." With the discovery of the locket, Theo and Master Horus crafted a special clock to commemorate the moon's dance festival, incorporating the locket's magic into its design. The clock became a cherished centerpiece of the festival, symbolizing the timeless bond between moments and memories. Theo's understanding of clockmaking deepened, and he continued to create wondrous timepieces that captured the essence of the world's beauty and magic. The village celebrated the moon's dance festival every year, honoring the enchanted clock and the apprentice who unlocked its secret. And so, the legacy of the clockmaker's apprentice lived on, reminding everyone that time, with all its mysteries and magic, could be a source of wonder and joy, and that the heart of time beat within the moments we cherish